We are very sorry to all our viewers at home. One of our casters got a little bit too comfy. Now, production, let's please throw it to Kalaris with the STC Rewind.
I want a massage.
From PMWC, day one here at EWC 26 for the finals, and we have got ourselves an absolute treat. Here for the STC Rewind, we're going to look back at everything that's gone on so far, Max. Groups to start things off. Group A and B, the leaders looked fantastic coming through into the final.
Yeah, I mean, of course, looking at Group A in particular, it was the Pakistani domination with 4 Thrives getting so many points, and really the one word to describe their performance is consistency. Every single player putting points on the board, in particular, Falak, right, being the Group MVP, was looking incredible, but so were Group B with Vitality.
Very dangerous indeed. The smiling assassin in Falak for sure. I think he looks fantastic. And yeah, Vitality on the opposite side of things, though. Record-breaking results, to say the least. Day number 1, 108 points for them, meant that they didn't really even have to matter what was going on in day number 2 for their groups, but they came out kind of swinging as well, finishing off at 148 points. I think just an insane result from them.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible, especially looking at Federalis with the insane peaks he was doing there, just almost breaking the game at times. Incredible performance from them, and also the duo Ray Ray. But looking now at the teams who were in second place of their groups, right, the Indian teams of Orangutan and also Godlike. One big question I do have today, Kalaris, is that they do not have the Smash ruling in their home region. So if they do get into a point where they can contend for that number 1 spot in day 3, how are they going to be reacting to that Smash ruling?
It's a good question then. For a long time, an infinite amount of time, in fact, they've never really truly been in a lobby quite this powerful. The chips are all down here at PMWC, so we'll see how they're going to be able to work that out. However, I think that some of their consistent play style, really locking down areas and then eventually being able to adapt as time goes on, hopefully they've had enough time to be able to even tweak some of those kind of results and kind of tweak some of those tactics to be able to push themselves all the way up to the top. Let's talk about the survival stage, though, because we had a wild survival stage. What do you think of the results?
I mean, Tiamo already winning that one. I was a little bit upset by their performance in the group stage, but you know what? They brought it back in that survival stage. And QZZ doing QZZ things, putting up big numbers. But Milu, I wanted to see a player perform on the same level as QZZ on the international stage. Milu, a 1v4 versus RRQ, putting them down in that elimination stage and able to actually become the MVP of survival stage. I'm very impressed. But I feel like one of the biggest storylines were in the last few games, Kalaris, the teams were able to barely make it back up, and that has to bring up the conversation about Ulf.
Yeah, it really does. That last game, getting them over the finish line, and you could see the emotion and kind of the relief on their faces when they were able to get that victory. This is a team, Ulf, of course, that arguably coming in, a lot of pundits, a lot of experts had them in their top 5, if not trying to challenge for the championship as a whole. So for them to squeak in towards the end of the survival stage, it feels like some vindication has been done here for Ulf, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Every single player doing great. I mean, Aaron and Ketch doing great. But you know what? The player that I would say was the MVP of Ulf was Scarface. Yeah. Oh my goodness. He came out of nowhere and said, you know what, guys, I got this one. I'll do it myself, and qualify us into the grand final. So Ulf, right now, I would say I've got that glimmer of hope, just like we had at PMGC last year, or even PMGO Season 1 this year in Jakarta, that they can be on the podium and maybe break that second place curse.
And that's just a few of the world-class teams that are going to be representing here in the final for PMWC at EWC 26. You want to stay tuned. You want to see all of these teams fight for that grand prize pool.
Thank you, special reporter Kalaris, coming in with the information. Now, let's talk about the club championship. AGAL got eliminated.
They did.
They are no longer in.
Lace, don't forget that we still have Vitality, and we still have Aurora, that if they finish in the top 8, or if they end up winning, I mean, they'll get a cool 1,000 points for that CC.
Never interrupt me again, Seven. But that's fine. Glitter, with our CC update, is going to interrupt and on standby to bring us the club championship update.
As we head into finals for PUBG Mobile, and as we prepare for the penultimate championship weekend here at EWC, as is tradition, it's time for another club championship update, because this is what all of our clubs are fighting for. The title, the honor, the ability to etch their names in the history books of EWC. So let's talk about what that means for this weekend. Over on the Allianz Vault, we have the likes of Liquid, Falcons, AGAL, all fighting for points in their respective games. And honestly, they're going into semifinals today, whittling it down to top 4. It's going to be a big one. Then at the STC Arena, a little bit of a repeat here because we also have Falcons in the running, and we're also keeping our eyes on Vitality, which could be a big one, as Vitality is in 4th overall in our CC leaderboard. But as we take a look towards our stage at PUBG Mobile, we get Vitality yet again. They are one of our big teams expected to do well, but the real question is, will the likes of Four Thrives, Orangutan, or even Tiamba take those points away from them? Will Vitality be able to usurp Falcons or AGAL? This is the perfect week and opportunity for them to do so. We're going to have a lot of updates coming your way over the next couple days, and as we know more, of course, we'll make sure to let you know.
Thank you to our special reporting, being able to cut class and just do that CC update. Thank you, Glitter. But we gotta talk about Sony's story of the day here, because this is the finals, and there's some teams, Lace, that have just been outperforming like crazy. Vitality being one of those.
Of course, Vitality, they were able to get the exact same score that Four Thrives did over 2 days. So if you don't understand how much of a juggernaut team this is, well, then you better wait and lock in.
Yeah, another one that we saw there as well is Godlike. I personally have Godlike finishing in the top 5. This team, for a first international event from India, they have been performing so well. And is that Snacks Gaming that I see? Bye. Turn left. Can I say hello, bye? It's good. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk to him later on. But we do have some more special reporters, none other than Maxman and Amatura. Let's see what they're up to.
And here we have it. We are here at the Analyst Corner for some good old PMWC 2026 at EWC 2026 breakdown. And I'm going to be joined by some co-analysts here to break down everything that might be happening this following weekend. First of all, we got Michael, Niptura, Jackson right here at the stage. How are we doing, Niptura?
Very well indeed. I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I'll save that for later. But for now, yeah, we're looking very good, excited for the finals. We all dressed up for the occasion. We are ready to go.
Yeah, with that said, looking at the teams, I know that Niptura, you really want to jump in on Godlike, because this team came out of nowhere in Group B and made it straight into the finals.
I mean, out of nowhere is a pretty good description of it. We were not expecting too much, simply because of the lack of experience compared to the other groups, right? The other players, the other teams, but they performed very, very well. I mean, we had them coming in 2nd in the groups overall, only by 1 point ahead of Aurora, you know, a few points behind Four Thrives, who had a big group stage, and the back-to-back wins on Miramar and Rondo over the span of both days was just really, really nice. I really enjoyed how they've been playing. They play more compact, they look for those positions, and in a lobby like this is working out very well. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they got today.
I feel like a lot of people, especially when it comes to Godlike, are highlighting, you know, they're looking at S-Power, they're looking at Admino. I want to say Some in particular has been doing absolutely fantastic for the entirety of Godlike. So you can see a little bit of a B shot there, them getting ready for this event. But you know what? Godlike is one of the many teams that are going to be here trying to compete for that trophy this weekend. But you know what? I feel like we need an extra analyst possibly to join the desk right here. But we have to summon him.
Oh, yes.
Niptro, so you ready? 3, 2, 1. Vitality! Oh, no. Oh, didn't work. Okay, wait.
Okay,
Right, time 2, okay? Wait, we're going to do it one more time.
Yeah.
Vitality! Hey! So Vitality, what are we thinking, Blank?
Hi there, my name's Blank, special reporter coming in for Vitality so far, doing incredibly well. Razy and Razak, my boy Ray, as well as Federalis and Axel, looking fantastic at the moment. I think Axel's been in a huge amount of work, as has Federalis, opening up a completely new style of shotgun play, which looks completely ridiculous in Game 2. But that's my special report for Vitality.
Oh, thank you for the insight. Also, Axel, by the way, the IGL put doing some big numbers, especially on that one game against Horror on the beaches west of George Pole. So this team, with how impressive they were in the opening day of their respective group, which was Group B, right, Niptra and Blank, can we see something similar going into this one, Blank, Mr. Vitality?
Ooh, Mr. Vitality. Yeah, I do think that Vitality is going to do very well here. The spiritual successors, of course, but I do think they're going to do very, very well. I think that there's not a player on that team that doesn't look incredibly good at the moment. And the funny thing for me right now, Neptura, is that Razy and Razak aren't particularly the guys that are stepping up the heat, despite so much talk about them. Yeah. Axel and Federalis have come in looking very hot, and I think that's the most promising thing.
Absolutely. I think if you look at any of the stronger teams in globally, just the global circuit, you're going to see players that all have very, very aggressive gunplay skill despite their various roles, right? You don't have just one or two. It's very, very nice to see that come through for them. So, yeah, it's very, very strong looking. And also the fact that they can get so many wins, we were talking about that in the group stage, right? We get so many of those wins, it makes it interesting for that smash rule that we actually could have a lot of hope for this team to actually come through the pressure and get that win.
Yeah, it's very nice, unlike Fourth Rise, they can actually get wins, because if they do gain contention for the smash ruling and the trophy, actually that could put them in a really good contention to be crowned your PMWC 2026 champions. Now, we already talked about one of the Indian teams. I think it's time to focus on the other Indian team, which is going to be Orangutan, Niptura. You already talked about them, so Blank, Orangutan, what are we thinking today?
You know what? I think Orangutan, for them, I think right now they're looking very, very good. I think a lot of the emphasis, though, has to be on Aru, though. I got to talk to him a fair few times this event. Lovely guy, by the way. Really, really lovely guy. Great chatter. I mean, I talk a lot. I talk a lot, you see. And I think that's sometimes a problem for other people. But for Aru, good as me, I could just sit there and listen to him all day. But he's bringing a lot of the eliminations. He's also bringing a lot of the guidance to the squad.
Yes.
Now, there were a couple of moments. I think we're actually seeing on screen now one of those moments, which was a little bit difficult right now for Orangutan. They moved up on this one versus Flash. They struggled a little bit on the gunfight. However, they ended up winning that game. It looked a little bit shaky. I think that they solved a lot of the issues coming after that. But yeah, I do think the rest of the team needs to develop around Aru, essentially.
Yeah, I think Aru's got some great ideas and he's got some great direction. It's just that synergy that has to come through. I think probably there's a little bit of, I don't want to say the word panic, that's a very strong word, but when you are in these high pressure situations, it's your first PMWC, whatever, you are going to go, oh my God, they're everywhere. And you're going to have a little bit of a freak out, and they've really worked on that. They've solved so much
Hello,
of
hello,
that.
welcome
So
to
yeah,
the stream.
it is looking
Yes,
really,
our
really nice
grind
for them. So
ചെയ്യാൻ
very, very hopeful.
അവർ ഗ്രൈൻഡ് ചെയ്യുകയാണ്, അതുകൊണ്ട് ഇപ്പൊ അവൈലബിൾ അല്ല. ചിലപ്പോൾ പിന്നെ വരുമായിരിക്കും. They will join after the grind.
I'd like to talk about here, which actually the team I predicted to be the champion. So I'm sorry guys, but I'm going to go for Team Flash. Team Flash, I think, is a team that has been getting better and better
Team
and
Flash.
better every time we see them play. And I feel like now maybe a trophy is in the cards for these guys.
Womp womp.
Wait.
Predicted by Max. Womp womp.
Sorry. So they're going to be in 16th place.
Hi Max, welcome to the stream.
Flash, I think that they did quite well, all things considered, because last time we saw them this year, they looked fairly unconvincing. They looked scared. They looked like they didn't have it in them from what was basically a rookie upstart squad who were testing a lot of other squads, right? Poking at them, nipping at their heels. They suddenly play this really passive game.
Smash rules on everybody in the
Now, and that's good news going in towards the finals.
Yep. Go for it.
No, I agree. I want to see more from them, though. I think in the group stage, you know, they've been heralded as a very, very aggressive, forward-playing team, and I think in the group stages we didn't see that as much as I was expecting to. I would like to see more of that in the finals, but you know what? It could be just a simple thing of, like a lot of teams do, they saving it for the finals, and so I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to hold that against them. I want to see what they got here today.
They do kind of remind me of Fourth Rise in the sense that every player has that clutch factor, and it's especially interesting. They go from PMGC last year to qualifying because of an airdrop on Miramar, barely able to squeak their way into the finals. So now, actually being a team that consistently are able to qualify straight into the finals of these big international events. So Flash, I feel like, could be a big surprise, especially as they picked up the mantle of Deek Xavier earlier this year, right?
Yeah.
Could be
happening.
Also, last thing, Chicken.
Whoa, Chicken right there. There you go. Check him out. He's very cool. Check out the booth right here at EWC 2026. With that said, thanks so much for joining the analyst corner here for PMWC 2026. We'll throw it right back to Lace and 7WG.
Yes, thank you so much to our special reporters, Max and Neptura. I don't know where we got the budget to fit Blank in there. I thought we spent it on him saying Vitality 100 times. However, our players are now arriving and getting ready for the show. 7, I do believe we are missing one caster.
Not again. Not again. He ended up missing last year on the final day of PMGC. We cannot have that happen again. Let's send our special reporter, Kalaris, who's going to be looking for none other than John Allen.
Here, reporter for PUBG Mobile here at PMWC, and a major problem has occurred. It seems we've let one of our commentators out in the wild here, and we've got to actually wrangle him and get him back in. So it looks like maybe a little bit of movement's going on here, actually. I don't know if they're actually going to be able to capture him. This is the problem with commentators. A lot of the times, they just go wild. They somehow get it. He's on the move. Okay, no, we've actually got to be able to try and find him as quickly as possible here. He seems to be hiding. I'm not exactly sure if we're going to be able to capture him. This specimen, in fact, actually has a microphone already. You can see he's dangerous. He's very dangerous. He has a microphone already. That means he's actually ripe for the commentator desk already. They might be able to actually capture him here. They've caught him cornered a little bit. I don't think he's very interested in it, but he might take to it. Let's see if we can place down some bait or something like that. Some bait actually might be able to work. Usually chicken dinners are the prime meal of a commentator here for PUBG Mobile. Will they be able to make it happen? This is a tense moment.
John Allen?
It looks... I think they might actually have it. They might have it. They might have the John Allen. It looks like... Oh! Did you see that? Get a close-up of that. I think they've got him. Unbelievable scenes here at PMWC. Oh, that was close.
As an Australian, I would have caught him a lot faster.
I'm just glad we caught him, okay? This man was on a loose. We weren't able to find him yesterday during the day off, and I'm just glad we're able to set some bait to actually find him.
Absolutely, he needs to lock in just as much as our players, Seven.
They really do, because there is an alert right now going on, and that is
Hala.
we are ready to
എന്തൊക്കെ
rock
കാണണം
out
അതിന്
here
സത്യം
at PMWC at EWC
Content ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ
26.
വേണ്ടി
Ladies and
പൊക്കത്തില്
gentlemen,
കണ്ട്
this is the finals, baby. I'm ready.
ready. തുടങ്ങാനായി 4:00 തുടങ്ങും. Yes. Watchparty. Intro super ആയിരിക്കും intro.
Months of preparation, thousands of hours played, and sacrifices have led to this point. Life-changing money sits on the horizon, and a legacy that dreams are made of.
We saw it in the group stage, we saw it in the survival stage. These teams are here for a reason, and every single one of them can actually clutch it all and become our PMWC champion.
Today marks the beginning of a 3-day gauntlet that each of our teams have to navigate. Each day more intense than the last.
Barney, I think we don't have to wait. The players look really ready, and it is time for us to welcome our finalists on the Gidia City grid, starting with Arena!
Arena.
Oof, Esports!
Furia. Hey.
Nongshim Red Force!
Al-Hula Club Esports!
ഹല നമ്മുടെ പയ്യന്മാര് പോയി ജയിക്കാം, കപ്പടിക്കണം. ഇന്ത്യൻ വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യാം.
S2G Esports!
നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഇയർ നമ്മൾ പോകും.
Nigma Galaxy!
നിക്മ ഗാലക്സി.
Hula Esports!
Team Flash!
Godlike Esports!
Aurora Gaming!
EWC Esports!
Titan!
Number second Indian team.
Team Vitality!
Vitality. ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ പോയിന്റ് കിട്ടി ക്വാളിഫൈ ആയ ടീമാണ് ഗൈസ്.
And finally, for Thrives Esports! We can't emphasize enough the importance of the next 3 days. On Sunday, we will crown the greatest team in the world. So start as you mean to go on.
Absolutely no room for mistake. If you want to be the best team in the world, you need to
Hi,
prove it
hi,
from
hi.
the very first day.
അവസാനം
The
40
PMWC
ആണ്
finals at
പാകിസ്ഥാൻ.
EWC 2026 starts right now.
The best teams in the world.
Players from all corners of the world laser focused on one thing, the title of PMWC champion. Fight smarter, adapt faster, and deliver when the pressure is at its peak. That is what it takes to keep this dream alive.
ഞാൻ വെള്ളം എടുത്തിട്ട് വരാം. വെള്ളം.
So welcome to the
India.
PMWC at EWC 2026.
വെള്ളം എടുത്തിട്ട് വരാം ഗൈസ്. വെള്ളം.
And RRQ are looking to do it here. Pushing up close and personal. Meow! With the nade! Turning the tables! And he's doing this all by himself! It's the Swan Wipe 1v4 from Milu!
Let's put the 11th on the board. Looking for Teasy. Is it a self-denial? It might be. Get to double digits on the
And
evens
that's it!
burn yourself down to the ground. What a shutdown. 108 points in 6 matches. Nate misses, Darkin peaks. That's on target.
Headshot.
Good shot. Follow-up there. HG takes him away as Turney K falls. Mormon closes the gap in the shotgun standoff, but will he win it? No!
Are you kidding me? What a finish! It's Ida! S-Power is just insane. He's been throwing heat-seeking missiles all game long and opening the fight for his team. A full 4v4. S2G tried to catch a couple of their players off guard, but it's S-Power, baby. You can't shut him down that easy.
You can't stop S-Power, and you cannot silence Godlike in this moment. Adamino for the closing play as Godlike take this chicken dinner with ease!
That is how you do it here, folks. And you can see the look on their faces saying, make some noise, Paris. It's Godlike's time to shine.
You see on Rondo, it is madness in the Ox Factory. A big nade threaded on up, and it's finding 1 and 2. Falak charges on forwards, and they're cutting the rosters in half. Another one right up in his face. They go wide. Top's moving around the side. Aurora, a difficult beast to handle. The run coming through from India, but it's not happening. They will not be silenced. They will not be shut up here. Aru still going strong. A tanky underneath, looking to get the shots in. But Flash moves around the side. He's whipping the shots, unfortunately. But finally, they will hit the last shot. India grabs the back-to-back. From day 1 to day 2, this team looks clean.
It's time to crush some dreams of 10 teams. Can I get you to press this button and open up the iris? Oh, with a bit of vigor. I like it. I'd like you to pull on this in 3, 2, 1. Send them home. Let's go on, there we go.
I don't think we could have set the stage better ourselves. So it's ironic that we were featured in that nice little collection of replays there, Blank. An incredible way to give you a glimpse into what's gone on over the past couple days.
I'm back.
Even
No.
more climactic here. The best of the best return to the lobby, and this is where dreams truly do become reality.
I'm slouching, but hopefully the players aren't, because this is a day, right? Day 1 always gives you the most freedom,
the most chance to get a big buffer online without that stress. Because we saw that come through in survival stage.
Yeah.
Teams were sweating, teams were shaking in their boots. But it's time to get boots on the ground over on Rondo very, very soon for our first match of the day. Who's going to grab that gargantuan point total? Can someone try and repeat something similar to E-Arena? Maybe not the same, because that's once in a lifetime type of a deal.
Well, if there was a time to pull it out, try and elevate a world record even further, hey man, there's no better stage for it, no better crowd, no more excitement and anticipation than right here, right now, live from the Qiddiya City grid at PMWC, at EWC 2026. 3 years of intense competition, twice we've had brand new champions crowned, and this year we'll get another one.
Never going to be the same here at this rate, with Yangon being Yangon. It is time to crown a new victor. Who's going to be the defending champion? Will they be able to defend it next time? But right now, all that matters is getting those points online. Playing path is in the air for day one of finals. Match one, Rondo. Let's get it started.
Energy in the arena already. It's good to hear you, Paris. Let's keep that energy going throughout the day. We'll set the stage for you as we get our playing path on board for this one. We've had some pretty good games of Rondo, mate. You touched on
Yes,
here,
Rondo.
was something to be remembered, but the consistency and the level of aggression we've seen from these teams back in their respective groups was intense. Now we put that all together, a big hodgepodge of talent. They're going to be stepping over each other, blanked.
I mean, they will have to.
E-Arena 39 പോയിന്റ് ബോംബർ അടിച്ചത്.
Soon as these players start dropping in. E-Arena here, though, and teams do need to be worried. They've been taking this little odd stadium drop where they've been searching out players from different teams on their res beacon positions. Now, if you are remembering our game versus Alpha 7 just the other day, on Survival Stage Day 2, they had a real tough time of it. They were able to hold out, but E-Arena made their lives extremely difficult, but it wasn't just them. So let's see what E-Arena can get done, because a lot of teams are going to be taking those res beacons off towards the northwest side with this playing path as the fights do open up towards Yulin.
Just how hot are these drops going to be and how much aggression is going to come out instantly. We see that opening knock from the side of 4-5 as Razy on Vitality starts to let some bullets fly. 2 players on Orangutan instantly being knocked off their feet as well. That's 3 points achieved for Tiamba in a matter of seconds here, Blank.
QZZ already hitting the knocks left, right and center. Milu up to 4, QZZ on 2. 6 eliminations in 1 minute 47. That is an incredible result already for Tiamba, and they should be able to get the easy res peak, and they've already cleared out most of the damn
elimination.
Yeah, that's an unbelievable start for Tiamba. A powerhouse in the survival stage, and again delivering early into Rondo. Orangutan being forced out as well as Hora look to try and claim a few more points for themselves. 3 points for Hora, 3 in the back pocket for Nonshin Red Force, and that big 6 total for Tiamba already.
Welcome back.
He was just slashing at them. He pretty much cut through the entirety of 4 thrives there, left them in ribbons by the end of it. I'm pretty sure he was up against guns as well, but he just brought the knife close quarters outside the pagoda. Real samurai here on Rondo.
Start as you mean to proceed, it seems then, for Tiamba on today's games. Sleepy taking the clash back over to Zizzy there from Nonshin. Going to be able to force him out early.
Nice.
Oh, that's a great lineup, bud. Lord coming swiftly in with that one onto S2G.
Gorgeous stuff here. But for S2G, got to chat with him for a little bit. My boy was actually getting a haircut when I was talking to him, but they were saying that they have the aggression, and that's what they're bringing here in the finals. It's what Ulf kind of lacked a little bit of. But for their Turkish team, they were looking to bring that aggression over in the group stages. They're looking to bring it again here. They've had a lot of time to study those teams. Minority is down. It's Kamikaze, the man with it all to give. 1 nade, 1 dream. Good damn.
Yeah, it's nice bit of chip damage on the P. Lord trying to lean into it, but the pre-fire back from Kamikaze on low HP will at least secure that one.
Lord's fight hot zone അല്ല അത് സേഫ് ആയിട്ട് കളിക്കുന്നത്. ഓജി കേറി 3 പേര് ചത്തു.
Solke, at least at distance, is able to recall the team back into action.
We do have a Western circle. We didn't get to talk about too much. Flash already has tops in that region, so Jiao Ting currently covered, but that place can hold a lot of teams late game. Eren now going against Win, barest amount of HP, but at distance, it's Milu once again. Tiamba up to 8 probably after this.
This is the dream start for Tiamba. And Milu, the fact that he's got 6 individual eliminations alone, mate, he was just popping off back in the games we'd seen previously. If he feeds the hot hand all day, good luck.
It's the buffer that we were talking about. And there's no luck involved, but there is luck involved over on the Lucky Spin, which you can join in with us in-game right now for the 2026 PMWC, for the exclusive 2026 PMWC tournament set, which you can see on screen regularly in-game. Make sure to try your chances just like QZZ. And this spray down with the S12K. We are looking at 2 eliminations per minute.
Unreal reactions as well.
We know
mechanically they're very gifted as individuals, but they're putting it all on the line. And hey man, that's the way to do it, right? We were touching on the fact if you can have a huge pop-off game on Rondo, the extra buffer of points from the sheer quantity of additional eliminations you can garner from this battleground, it's worth its weight in gold, especially in a 3-day finals environment like this. You gotta get in there and get stuck into the thick of it, and Tiamba are doing just that.
Again, for Tiamba, their biggest success in the survival stage was the fact that they started out so incredibly hot, where it felt like all the weight was off them a lot of times. At Milu making that 1v4 look real easy, I think that came from the fact that they had nothing to lose at that point. They were already in. They're just pushing a little bit further there. We haven't talked about it too much so far on the cast. We do have Smash ruling this event.
Smash rolling on
does that mean that, yes, you can win technically game 2, but it also means the further you are ahead, the harder it is for teams to catch up to you to also get into that Smash ruling. So we are looking for more similar result to 4 Thrives as well as Vitality in terms of how far they sent themselves ahead in those rankings to make it difficult for any team to catch up, to really engage that Smash ruling on the final day. Might be coming down to match 6, honestly.
Yeah, it will be a fun little storyline to see how that affects things going into the last day of competition. How big of a barrier that'll be, and really if other teams will have to rise up to the occasion for it to even be a potential pipeline for them. That's one for the future though, but now it's in the back of your mind. You have that context with just how much these early points matter for some of our squads. 2 sides that you touched on there though, of course, being Vitality and 4 Thrives. They were dominant in both of their respective groups. Easily the best squads we saw when it came to how consistent they looked and how aggressive they were. Yeah. Vitality even kind of completely blowing away what we thought was the upper limit when they then played their group, right?
I think they knocked it out by 1 point, but even that 1 point is a hard point to squeeze out in such a short amount of games. For Tiamba, it's a little less impressive, I would say, just because you are playing with the dregs coming through from the group stage. We already did send what we assume to be our best 10 teams forward there. Yeah. Even so, Tiamba still looked very strong, and for them, it was more a case of switching it on in those moments. And they've done exactly that. It looks like all the lights are on at home right now for Tiamba. They are burning the midnight fuel. It's crazy. Actually wild. Speed at which he was like, so was that 1v4 again actually? Now I'm thinking about it. Technically
it feels like it is, especially when you then factor in, but we had the 1 clean 1v4 he won. We then had a 1v4 attempt towards the end of survival stage that resulted in a winning free elix and going out as the last guy. Yeah, like the conversion rate we've had on raw 1v4s from him has actually been unbelievable.
I think we're more astonished that might be a 1v4. I mean, we didn't even clock it because it's like, is he just doing this repeatedly now?
Just full-on butcher blade coming out from Milu, chopping everyone to bits. Crazy.
Love to see it. Circle goes over towards that northern side. A bit of an awkward res beacon on this one as well. Towards the lane. Definitely possible to go for, but you get caught out on the bridges coming out from that area a fair few times here, Jackie. And also, there will be teams playing around that spot, trying to hold teams out. Orangutan, though, nice rotate on the north side. Will be able to get them further into the circle.
Tiamba Vitality on the back foot here, as well as Ulf. Aurora holding a 2-2 split. I think they realized because they're so far down towards the south, likely better just try and clear their back angles and then look for maybe a major rotate on the west or the east side later on.
Shades of stadium for E Arena, a position they'd love to play towards in a final circle, but let's see if they can win out versus Orangutan. Straight through the door, and it's easy clean-up on the opening two players. Aaron Wisgard down in a matter of seconds. Back down to a duo once again.
4 thrives take
Orangutan boy.
as well. Leaves Orangutan just on one singular player, AKOP, who is
It's
sending
all
for
for
Res
the
Beacon. I think he might go far Bailey on this, actually, Jackie. I don't think he's going to stop off early over towards the lake. Like we said before, you get a res off there, teams know it's happening, they will hold you out. So he is forced to go for the long rotate. But honestly, for Orangutan, it's not terrible because they can just swing back in from that northern side, and it's fairly free with where most of the teams dropped off down towards the south.
Yeah, thankfully he's got just enough time. Pulls slightly further out as well, hedges his bets, he goes up towards the top of the north side, going to get that recall in. See Vitality on screen here as well. Just the one Elim to start us off with, Razy. I mean, you said it yourself, mate, doing your little special report on Vitality. Razak and Razy, that's been a hell of a duo. They're like the Cray twins, bro. You're just terrified when you see them coming at you.
Yeah, you are. I mean, one of them bringing the double hammers as well. It's a bit of a nightmare, honestly, and they are always looking for a proper shootout. But it's nice to see Axel as well as Federales. I mean, Axel really astonished me. Because there had been so much talk about Razy and Razak, and Federales has also had a massive amount of tenure throughout the entirety of PUBG Mobile, but Axel was just swinging and not missing. So that's what gives me a lot of hope, and I'm very, very excited to see this team perform as this tournament goes on, just because of how good all of them have been playing individually and as a unit. Taking a look at Godlike, though, they're over towards that center side. I think Godlike showed us something different from their region. Honestly, they had some great aggression. I think they've been making little adaptations here and there, figuring things out as they go along. But genuinely, overall, we're impressive. We're impressive. They were second best inside of their group, only beat out by Vitality. And to be fair play, I mean, fair play.
Vitality really did get in there, mate. You got a little crunch down the zone here as well, pulling further down. A couple big names amongst the dead center of it all. Godlike, as you touched on, 4 Thrives, Vitality, Enigma Galaxy as well. The representation from Aurora, another side that could have some surprises in store for us the longer this one goes on.
Yeah, Aurora, they just seem to have this capability to choke in the finals.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's their major issue. Every single player on that team has greatness inside of them. It just seems to dwindle a little bit once we get to a finals. And we've been asking for that not to be the case for the longest time. And it's getting to the point now where I just don't believe in it, which is sad. But they are consistently always here, and you can't really put them down too much for that. The fact they're in most of the finals is like, that's already a big achievement. Reefus, though, opening up over towards Yasser from Alula. Tiamba's cut out on that eastern edge. Now, there's a lot of these big pillars involved inside the circle, as well as stadium over towards that northeast side, which is a bit open on the outer edges. It slopes down into it, so if you are E-Arena, you can kind of swing past here. They also know this area very well. It is their drop spot, but 4 Thrives have beaten them to the punch here down towards their southwest from stadium.
Excited to see what the form of Fury is going to be looking like in a final situation again as well. They were massively coming alive, dude. Felt like it was way better in terms of the decision making. The communication was on point. A lot of the fights we witnessed from them. Igor as well, just playing so brilliantly with some of the individual plays. Feel like a whole new man showed up. We spoke about this big man though, and he's back on our screens again. Milu scouting around, seeing if he can get a line of sight potentially. Just playing close towards the geometry here at the cliff face. It's Ulf that aren't too far away.
Eagle and Aki desperate to get some elims on board. I mean, man, every single one over on Milu and QZZ, but guys are the fraggers on side. A-King, a lot of times playing off the back of him. Eagle, very, very good at playing that anchor style. Generally is the last player to go down. Plays that survivalist very well for them as well. But yeah, you're right, Furia looking good. Igor's, I think, was a big surprise.
Yeah.
They've got big names on that team like Chief, Ayala. Silence also doing a lot of good work. But yeah, Igor's was just really giving it to a lot of these squads. Now, we're getting in towards our later circles with quite a lot of damn teams still involved. We talked about Jiaotin earlier on. It can house a ton of teams. It is uncomfortable to play in, and swinging from apartment to apartment is not always easy. And there's a lot of difficult windows and little places to pitch nades in. We can't quite get those full finishes on. So I'm curious to see how this will play out. I think it's going to be a little bit of a passive game going towards the end, but you do have to get in towards Jiaotin.
See over on the side of the stage, the Nick the Galaxy fans getting quite excited. But meanwhile, amongst the battleground, it's S2G that feel the hammer crash down on top of them from Nonshin Red Force. The hero of Hyunbin starting it out well. And only one man in last, forced to bail out and try and keep their dreams alive as he breezes out of action. There's Aurora as well, clashing against Ida Blank.
I mean, Ida tried to get in on the northeast side, which I think is, at this point, a little bit too late. They got crunched in by Vitality as well as Aurora. I think you somewhat deserve that coming into this stage of the game. Jiaotin's still far on the western side, but because it's such a big amount of landmass with a lot of places to play, you do see a lot of teams confirming here early, but you sort of want to be on that end where Aurora is, Vitality, where there is those clear exit points across the road. A lot of other teams have to take something a little bit more unfortunate. Fourth rise though, Joker stepping up to the plate here, spraying through the smoke. There's one close. He's giving himself away though, Jackie.
Yeah, this is risky, bro. IQ had to be so swift with the shotgun here. It's Joker just teasing them, dancing around on top of the rocks. So much damage already done to 4 Frides. This would be a hellish way to go down. And that's how they fall in our opening game. E-Arena.
Arena down, but back on ball with Tiamba. Milu finding the first, as per usual. Scarface desperate against it, but he's just pushing up. A-King will find another shot. Solus is down. This is looking very, very bad for Ulf. And Tiamba puts up more points. Milu on a fat 7 so far.
It's not going to stop either. They want even more. Squeeze whatever points they can get out of this one. Eren had to tuck his tail and absolutely bolt it. Finds a lone rock in a field and gets his head down. Turns his attention back up onto him though. Few shots as he dumps the magazine towards Milu. Someone needs to stop him, Black.
Milu is just out of control this game. You're right, needs to be leashed. QZZ still taking some damage here. I'm kind of curious from where. If it's Fury, you're actually taking a couple of pot shots over towards them. Eren not letting up. Just about press over the top of that ridge side. They're going to take the blue for a little bit to try and deny those sightlines. They make their way over towards the pagoda. Just about in here, Jackie. Difficult spot to play. Curious to see how it does work out. Aurora, it seems like both them and Vitality have been tossing a couple of curveballs at one another. But Eren does find Eagle. Goodness me, still being a nuisance on that east side.
Fair play, man. He's thinking, you want to try and ruin this for us on game 1? We'll at least make it uncomfortable. Force out the utility, see what he can scrap through onto them. Can't really make a move towards that recall, the zone coming in, and that's going to really crunch up away from all of them. Still dead center for Vitality.
Yeah, Vitality's actually in a really good spot here. Like I said before, it does give them that capability to move out over towards that northeast side if needs be, but they also can crunch every single team on that western side. There was one player left remaining from Ida. It is Darkin. He is over on the eastern side of Jiaotin, just hanging out for the time being, but that does kind of save grace for Vitality, because they'll hear the shots immediately if someone tries to rock up over towards Darkin, just give them a brief opportunity to reassemble and reassess how they want to play off on that eastern side. Replay here from Federales, just instant shots. I think this has been a key factor for Federales throughout the entire tournament as well. Reaction speed. He is quick with it.
It was quick and on a disgusting angle as well, so good plays. Oh, Federales, no one clears it!
Hello?
He doesn't get the play off! What? They turn around back onto it and Federales falls! What's gone on there?
This is an insane push from Tiamba, by the way. They have practically mostly lived it. Only QZZ goes down. I don't know how Tiamba is here. They immediately scarpered from that south side, and they took the most bold push. I was like, goodness me, Vitality's going down. And I was like, goodness me, Vitality's going down to Tiamba, of all teams.
Mate, this is lunacy. Milu's looking for the nade as well, wants to really commit to this. Meanwhile, the last man from Ulf goes down. They fall second into our first game. Milu priming the nades. Oh!
Nice, good nade from them. Hits it back. Axel and Razak still up and kicking. That nade looked dangerous. Milu's down, tries to crawl his way back in towards the smoke to mask his presence here. QZZ still alive. Last of a player up, probably the one you want to see as well here for Tiamba. 14 eliminations this game so far, though, still decent. That is greedy. Vitality's gonna let it happen?
Oh, mate. He's gonna get it in. The res is gonna get him back up. The insane bit was as well, it was the nades from Aurora from all the way in the back line that got that initial knock back over onto Milu. Vitality have just been caught in the middle of it all. Most aggressive game of badminton with nades being bounced over the top of their heads. Molly in round the corner, QZZ with a nade back.
He's just going for it.
Angle, good night!
No way.
Good night! The shotgun knocks them both out!
This is what I can't believe about QZZ, because he's like, I've run out of grenades. You see so many players just step back and be like, that's it then. But he's like, if I can't do it with a nade, I'm just facing. I'm fully facing. Now Aurora, they're pushing on the sidelines. Can Tiamba hold 2 versus 4 here? It's a tough one. The opening grenade is not good, but Refus is taking a ton of damage. Top bullet fight, at least find QZZ, and it seems like Milu will also go down. But 16 eliminations, a fearsome game, even going out in 11th.
And I'm sure you can hear that. The entirety of the arena here in Paris lighting up. A spectacle to start here on game 1 of Rondo, and it's Tiamba that lead the charge. Now out of the running, let's see if anyone else can try and mirror their success with what remains.
Flash moving over towards Aura. He's on the south side. They're kind of fighting for nothing on this one as well, because they need to leave at some point in the near future. Jiggle. Fair bit of damage. Flash still got bows in the back line here, lining up a grenade inside the warehouse. Hard to pop these off the wall, though, because of all the concrete inside. Godlike, though, dealing with Nongshim Red Force. What? Tizzy just lets him run straight into the barrel.
God damn. Shotgun straight to the cranium. Blows him away. Godlike clap back upon from Schweppes in the distance as well. Gets an angle onto him. This is looking tiresome for both teams. I mean, Nongshim down to just the duo. Godlike with only 1 man left remaining. And Alula, they've seen the blood in the water. They want to see if they can roam over. They smell potential points here.
Why not? Honestly, grab them where you can. Alula sends up Yasser. Nongshim Red Force has not got the reset online at all. Still priming nades upstairs. There's going to have to be a big hole. Tizzy on the outside. Luckily, that Molotov is not on target. Tizzy's just going down. What are we doing?
Mate, this is nutty out there. Tried to drop off the top of the rafters, spamming the shots. It's all gone.
I feel like Tizzy just panicked.
I think so.
You just get the res in, bro. Drop the smokes, get the reses. They missed the first molly. At least challenge the res. Goodness me, man, you're going to go down to a perfectly placed Molotov here from Alula. I mean, hats off to these guys. They currently control the entirety of the northern side to themselves. Irina looking to put up another good point here. Aurora playing with our hearts right now. Opening up with maybe a gargantuan game. Leading them to believe it is possible once again for Aurora.
Enigma Galaxy coming out swinging as well. Might have been a bit quiet in terms of the overall aggregate elims we've seen to this point, but we know it's a team that can deliver with some consistency late game. They've got nades as well. Oh, the red zone forming on top of the arena. Thankfully for them, a little bit of deployable cover will make all the difference. Turney K in the back trying to keep his eyes on what's going on, but if you flick to the elim feed, you can see Doc's doing damage. The scalpels come back out for Aurora. And blank, it was 16 for Tiamba, but Aurora now on 14 elims. They might be able to lap them.
Aurora have been just stamping away here. Reefus again does find Aru, leaving AKOP inside. Will be able to grab win. Actually didn't even grab that. Top was able to steal it. But for OG, they live a lot longer than expected. But with 0 eliminations, they will not get a huge amount off this game other than the placement points involved. AKOP inside, has to move soon. Might just end up denying the point here. Reefus spraying in, has 217 bullets as well. So they have had a lot of loot crates to pursue and peruse.
Akop just trying to keep himself sustained and run the clock down on this one as long as possible. See if he can deny it out to the blue potentially, because if he goes running in there, that's just another point for Aurora.
He's trying to get an extra placing on this one, but I don't think anyone else is going down anytime soon. Still more. He's mistimed it. Yeah, unfortunate. I think he thought that the angle was bad for him, so pulls off the first aid kit there. Sadly, not able to rank up once again. If he'd waited a little bit longer, maybe he would have ranked up over E-Arena here, who will go down shortly, I imagine. TurneyK not able to weather the pressure here from Alula, who have been impressive this tournament for a team that was kind of down on their luck last year. I don't think a lot of people had high hopes for this squad. They have come into EWC looking fairly decent. Like, a lot of work's been going on for this squad. A lot of practice in the meantime. But Enigma Galaxy up in top 3. A rocky group stage for them, but we're still able to grab those points. And I do attribute some of that to Coops. He is a nuts player on side.
He's been a big King Cooper for this team, bro. Wearing that crown with some of the plays he's making. He wants to slam down on the off-angle peak behind the vehicle here. Alila trapped, cowering. One by one, they eat the bullets and they fall. Huge step up for Enigma Galaxy, and enough time to fix their HP as well before any other fights are forced. The only solo player from Furia, he got just trapped in the ditch between our two teams that are going to scrap for the dinner, and Top finds that one for an extra elim.
Just instantaneous shots coming through. So we're down to Aurora. Reefus swings very wide here, over towards the northern edge. And hold both positions. An awkward angle like that could make them very worried. Has a little bit of hard cover here, but it is outside the zone. Gonna wrap back, but at least got the info on side. Coops tries to hit the shots, has to go for the reload here. Gonna go for another as he passes on by. Again, I do think for Enigma Galaxy, Coops is a really big deal. Not just on his own, though. It's the fact that Lord has someone to play off. Yeah. Lord is also a very aggressive player, but Ralph and Satan, they like to take it slow, and that's great, and it works out, but you do need someone else to move forward and bank off of one another. So for Enigma Galaxy, I do think this is the perfect setup right now for them. Joel will move forward into the smoke line. 17 eliminations on the game. A teaser, potentially, from Aurora. And we'll hold our breath for it.
Ooh.
Nice. Just unreal.
It's greatly timed from Joel. The shrapnel hitting hard.
Oh, he knows.
Enigma.
He knows, Jackie.
Look at the lineup. Wants to get it behind the cover flare. Barely, but they bait him out enough. That's more chip damage. Coops on half HP.
Molly.
Could be good.
Oh, this is annoying. This is very frustrating for Coops. It's really slowing them down. Giving quite a bit of time for Aurora to reposition off the back of this as well, because both the front targets have been distracted, discombobulated in the chaos. Thought it might be a little harder for Aurora to get back into the circle. They also know the north side's free after that original rotate from Reefus. Ralph had to go back up that angle. But they have all the knowledge in the world going forward here. They've opened up the full library on this game.
A lot of nades being baited out here by Coops as well. He's down to 2 nades and 1 Molotov. Ralph actually being isolated from his off-angle peek round the backside. That's half his HP gone. The vehicle detonates in front of him. One Blessing has got a little bit more cover to try peek off of, but no easy rotation.
Still the 4v4 here. Utility down to nothing on side of most of these players. It will just be a dry gunfight, and honestly, on top form, I do think Aurora beats them out on that. Coops and Lord, though, deadly duo. Prime at the 2 nades. Doc is up front. Is this the dockening once again? Takes 2 nades. Just will tank them. but there's 2 more coming, and I'm not sure he'll be able to do the same on the next. They both go wide. He's going to push forward into the smoke. We'll have to swing back, but one player goes down the back lines. It is top, and now Aurora's down to 2. Enigma Galaxy is making this happen.
They're standing tall right now. They want to convert this one into a chicken dinner win on game 1 as 2 of Aurora's players buckle under the pressure.
It's over.
Ruthless falls. It's all down to the last man in Joel. They need to isolate the peak as he hits Lord heavy, but he's gone. Cut short. The Aurora is gone.
That is insane. That is insane, Jackie. I got to eat my words on that one as well. I mean, for Enigma Galaxy, what a good game. Did say though, Aurora do like to choke.
The crazy thing is, it was probably the most fitting head-to-head of 2 teams we could have.
Yeah.
Similar contrasted play styles, the way they split off, confident in their 2v2s, the off-angle aggression. But I started to get worried, man, pointing to the map, seeing Doc charging in. Slight timing on the nades,
The docketing, dude. It's the docketing. It's happening again.
Bro, just absolutely come alive on that one.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. Actually wonderful stuff. I still think Aurora played that game very, very well, though. I think when you watch them in those moments, they are so clean on the shots here and there. I think it's just a little bit of a stumble towards the end there where you're trying to pull yourself out of those buildings. That is hard, and getting back across the road. They don't have a huge amount of space to play with. Enigma Galaxy also has the high ground, so they set up well on this one. But yeah, good stuff from Enigma Galaxy. Again, Lord and Coops, though. That is a great duo. We're seeing a lot of fantastic duos be born here over at EWC and really spread their wings into these matches.
You can see him enjoying it as well. Ralph enjoying the celebration from the fans behind them there. Everyone in the arena popping off with Enigma Galaxy taking game 1. Stay tuned for even more.
Welcome to the front of stage. My name's Barney Banks, and I'm joined by S2G's very own Badish. Badish, how's it going, man?
Fine, bro, you?
I'm very well, thanks. I mean, let's talk a little bit before we get into the nitty-gritty of the teams and how things are going for you guys. Let's talk a bit about Paris. How's the Esports World Cup been for you so far?
Paris is amazing, bro. Eiffel is so good. The castles are Notre Dame, the Pantheon. Everything is good at the Paris. But Arena is more than good. There is, I don't know. It's my first time at the World Cup, and it feels so good.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your team, S2G. Let's talk about the preparations coming to EWC. Were you guys, preparing here on site, or did you boot camp in Turkey? What was the plan?
Just we did boot camp at the Istanbul. We have gaming house at the Istanbul. And before the tournament, we go to China, the PMI, Macau invitation tournament. And I don't know, I feel we're gonna take this.
You feel like we're gonna get this? Yeah. Well, S2G's run through the group stage was really good. Now we're in the finals. How are the team feeling? Are they nervous? Are they excited? Like, what's the vibe from the team right now?
They seeing me, my players are seeing me. Maybe we're gonna get the first place, maybe we're gonna get the sixth place.
Oh,
they
wow.
don't know. Yeah, but I think we're gonna handle this.
It's a very strong group of finalists, isn't it? So if you get on a roll, like, momentum is a big thing in this game. If you start playing well, you could take it all. But do you have faith in them? Do you think they can do this?
Yeah, I believe them.
I believe too. Badish, thank you so much for joining me in this interview. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the event, and we'll see you later.
See you.
Back to you guys.
Day number 1 in serious business here now for PMWC at EWC 26. And what better way to start it off than I have two legends here from India to talk about what's happened so far as well as what may be to come. So, of course, I have Admino and I have Aru here, as we have Godlike and, of course, Orangutan going to be representing from India. So I guess I'll ask you, Admino, first. You guys must have watched the survival stage. What did you think about the teams and gameplay overall from the survival stage?
It was kind of little passive, like the previous group were too much aggressive, or maybe they were one more chance, that's why they were aggressive, and this was a survival stage. But I think Tianba got the momentum, and the top 6 were expected, as we have decided already in the podium thing that we have a fun activity over there.
Yeah.
And I think Alula gave a little bit surprise, and I hope so they perform good in grand final also. But I'm hoping for Tianba to carry forward the momentum that they have already got in survival stage.
How about you, Aru? What did you make of the survival stage?
We tried to grab as many things as we could from the playstyles and the lobby structure to get a better understanding and to be able to predict better what the structure of the finals lobby would look like. And obviously we don't really fear anyone, but yeah, there are many respectable opponents that we need to respect in game as well, as much as we should, not more, not less. So yeah, we are confident coming to the finals and looking at the survival stage. We know that when teams have like only one last chance, it's like they play more in pressure, and yeah, that's it.
All right, so I wanted to actually ask a bit of a fun question, since we've got two fantastic teams here. I'll start with you, Aru. If you had to take a player from Admino's team and add them to your roster, who would you pick and why?
Maybe Espoir, because he's really consistent.
Okay. Same question to you, Admino. Who would you take from Aru's team and why?
Aru answers because he's a good idea.
What do you think about that? You think you're a good IGL? You think that's fair?
I don't know, I just work.
All right, so
hello. I am back. Sorry. നമ്മുടെ എവിടെ നിന്നൊക്കെ പോകുന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട് ഞാനൊക്കെ പോകാൻ ചാൻസ്.
What's your expectations here?
ഞാനും ഇപ്പോൾ അധികം മൊബൈൽ പേജ് കളിക്കാനും കുറവല്ലേ. അതെ കുറവാണ്.
Arguably one of the best lineups of all
Sorry,
time
എനിക്കൊരു
here
കോൾ
at
വന്നു.
PMWC. So how do you think your chances are here?
Well, I wouldn't be saying anything. I'll just prove it by performing over it.
Perfect. How about you, Aru? What are you thinking for the final?
I'm just here to play and enjoy the 18 games because I love this game. I don't want to feel any pressure or, set unnecessary expectations from myself. If we are going to enjoy the game inside the game, then we are definitely going to perform well as well.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me and best of luck today.
Thank you, Kalaris, for that amazing interview there with Admino and none other than Aru.
Hello?
But it does end up coming down to Aurora at the end. Even though Enigma Galaxy won, congratulations, Enigma Galaxy. I gotta give this team some props because we're finally seeing the MVPs show up for that squad. But Enigma Galaxy, Coops, especially at the end, what a surprise for them being able to come out with a win.
It's so nice. Just in my notes, I just have Coops because that's all you gotta say, really. I do. Can confirm. Yeah, see that? Yeah.
I can't read that.
Yeah, my handwriting's not great. But Coops was awesome. I really love the jump that they're coming through throughout that game, right? They played on that edge side. They waited for their moment. They bided their time. And what I loved particularly here, Max, was their push onto EA was not super aggressive. All they wanted was space inside the zone. They didn't go for that full push and that full clear of the team. They're just like, hey, we want some space. We're going to take it from you, take a couple of points as well, and then wait some more. I really liked that from them.
I have an idea, but this is just pure speculation. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I'm like, maybe they slowed down the final to E-Arena, hoping Al-Ula would go for a third party, and then they could let them fight each other and pick off the rest. I don't know if that was the actual reason. In particular, they get a 23-pointer tied with Aurora Gaming.
Lace, and we get just pure aggressiveness right off the bat. This feels like a PMWC finals, baby. As 3 teams were able to get 13 or more eliminations. Aurora with the 17. Tiamba started off hot as well.
Man, I did not we came out of that survival. It's just not. I just love the fact, right, I'm just getting so excited, so passionate here, that the fact that they carried on the same momentum that they had. I I mean, it was exceptional from them. Obviously took the hot drop seriously, which, you know, shout out, love a hot drop taken seriously, and were able to capitalize and obviously recover the team. And it's just a crazy storyline from them from bottom to the top, and I mean, I'm so excited to see what they can do next.
Yeah, for Tiamba, they're looking to carry that momentum that we saw out of them in Survival. Something that you actually enjoyed watching that game is the plan B, the adjustments that Tiamba was able to do, Max.
Because they had a great hot drop, right? I think it was, 9 eliminations after the hot drop? Absolute mad start for these guys. And then they start losing players. They want to go for the recall, which is usually Tinglong Garden. But then Hora, coming out of nowhere, looking to chase down the recall player, which usually is Eagle in Tinglong Garden. And Eagle instantly, instant response, seeing we don't want to go out to Hora. We're going to go for an Eastern rotation, a bit out of their way. But by doing so, he gets the entire team back up, and they get 16 eliminations off the back of that. Eagle, definitely, maybe not in terms of elims, but the MVP of the game in terms of what he allowed his teammates to do this match.
Allowing the team to be able to come back, allowing the team to just be able to just be there for support. Allow the other players to just frag out. And for anybody that had Tiamba, Enigma Galaxy, or Aurora in your predictions, congratulations, because those teams have been performing quite well. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the EWC Play app. Go put in your predictions. You could end up getting some rewards there depending on what your predictions are. And no surprise here that it is Milu from Tiamba with the MVP once again. 8 eliminations. This man is just non-stop right now.
He is. You can't stop this man. He's just gonna go from better to better to better performance. Here we go, the head-to-head. You're seeing here 16 eliminations versus 17 of Aura. And if I'm not mistaken, Milu had at least 8 or 9 of those. So
you know how you just had some notes and it was just cool. Just Milu. Man, this man's just chasing that MVP at this point.
He is. He absolutely is. QZZ, though, shout out to QZZ. That 1v2 onto the rest of Vitality. He was wiped out by Aura like seconds later, but yeah, some really, really good stuff there. There's a lot more players on the team than just Milu that are really fragging out.
I mean, I was wondering going to this, are we going to get group stage Champion? Are we going to get survival stage Champion? Clearly, with this opening performance 7, it is survival stage Champion in the finals.
And we're hoping that that's going to be the case. If you're a Tiamba fan, you're going to be looking really happy. If you're a Fourth Rise fan, Fourth Rise is looking for a comeback here. Same with OG, but let's see what's going to be happening here on the second game of PMWC at EWC 26 Finals.
Thank you, Seven. Great breakdown there, recap of what we saw on our screens live in Game 1 of Rondo. Starting to get a little bit louder in here, but Paris, I want to know, how loud can you get? Let's get some noise going!
It's a good crowd. It's a real good crowd here we got here in Paris. Supporting all their teams. I mean, the Enigma Galaxy crowd, they've been loud. We'll see if they can get louder. As Enigma Galaxy are doing fairly well here so far. It's really, really nice to see. I think, again, mad props to Coops. First of all, mad props to actually being here. The guy's dodged so many events at this point. Finally gets to play some matches. But yeah, the rest of the team's also looking fantastic. Ralph looking a little bit more reserved, I would say, in the gameplay, which is good to see. Holding those angles. I actually liked where he set himself up. It became a real nuisance. The big thing was, didn't immediately go down either. And I think a lot of times that's all he needs to do, because he knows the layout of the land. He knows where he needs to be playing. It's just sometimes he'll play those spots and then humble. And that's bad. So he's just letting the rest of his team work those angles whilst he plays that off angle in a really, really strong and quite frustrating spot to deal with. But we're heading over to our angle now, so probably a little less action involved, a little bit more calm, chilled out as we head in towards the first portion of the day. Fury at last game did come down to Eagle once again.
Yeah. And honestly, mate, you know, normally I think you'd favour him in kind of positions like that, where if he had to step up as a solo, it's just how late in the game it was and how strong everyone else he was up against was looking, right? Uncomfortable position to be left in, but hey, they still squeeze some extra points out of it. So it's better than it could have been. For some of our other talented squads, they're far down the standings, but like you touched on, Rondo is Rondo, and now we get something a little bit more normal. Opening playing path established here, whole way down the middle.
Down on that eastern side, Yaz. Opening here for teams to move into. Gatka a little bit harder to get towards on that western side. North George well as South George. Probably possible. It's just going to be a little bit more of a long approach on that one. Vital's just out early. I don't really ever mind the Kameshki split, honestly, over towards Stalbert on that eastern side. You have a lot of position to loot. Most of the time, you're not having a second team come over here. So it's just a really good position to get set up in the early game. But man, Tiamba, we didn't talk about them too much at the end of that game. But there is definitely fire in those bellies today. Because to make that push, to make that decision, to just be like, let's have a straight fight on the central compound when we're playing Edge, I don't know what's gotten into them, but I love it.
It is so good. So many elims already, and they just go, I like the look of that position. Let's take it off. I'll be having that. Fairly watery circle, mate. Starting off one of these. This has been a consistent trend, at least throughout Survival. We had quite a few very similar to this on our start. Obviously, a little bit worse for Vitality with a late rotate all the way down from Stauber with their instant drop from the plane.
Yeah. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. A lot of the rotational tools will probably be removed as well. So it is going to be a long rotate for Vitality. You are correct. That might end up, or probably will end up, creating a little bit more of a passive game for them, a slower game for them. 4 Thrives, though, loving life. You know, they get down towards Ferry Pier. The yellow's on the eastern side. There's no one around here. It's chilled out. It's peaceful. You get yourself set up nice and early on one of the prior compounds as we head into Zone 2. I think the scary thing about this one is it does eke in a little bit of Sosnovka, and there isn't a 0% possibility that this doesn't go down towards Sosnovka in the future. It still can. It could even center up around Bridge. Satan on our screens. You know what, the last game, first time I've seen Satan smile this tournament, by the way. Even when they win, he usually looks like something's gone wrong.
He enjoyed that one.
He did like that one. That was a nice win for him.
Yeah, they were chuffed to bits. And to be fair, it was great. You know, nice head-to-head. Two very talented squads. Lots of contrast of play styles, but Nigma Galaxy proving that it was on the money today in that first game. So low on utility, but made every bit count. Can they keep it going, though? You start well on Rondo. How does it look then moving in here to Arangao? Another chicken dinner, big placements. What are we looking at from them? That will be a nice, I suppose, sort of litmus test of what the quality of this team's going to be looking like throughout the next 2 days here.
Ida. These guys kind of crumbled. They made the similar approach to Tiamba actually last game, but I think what Tiamba did very differently was they isolated the Vitality compound away from Aurora, whereas Ida kind of came from that north side and just sandwiched themselves. I thought that was a very strange play for Ida to make. I think most of the time, most teams would understand that probably don't want to place yourself between those two squads or those two buildings. They're very popular in that location on Rondo. But I don't think Ida had done badly before. They had some really cool clutch moments, some super awesome 1v3s right at the end of the games. Like, they have what it takes to be a champion, but not like that. Or stop making silly mistakes.
And obviously we touched on Vitality going down kind of early into that one. Two other squads that I'm assuming towards the end of the day will be in a very different place to where they are in the standings right now, would be both 4 Thrives and Godlike. Two teams that have got so much firepower, even just individuals as well. Yeah. Falak hit some of that old 4 back out immediately, mate. You won't only see it, you'll hear it from the crowd.
I mean, he looked happy when I saw him this morning. Ready to go. He's got a little bit of a shy smile on him as well. Quite like
it's cheeky.
He is cheeky. It is cheeky. But even when I was talking to him yesterday, he seemed like he was ready and raring to go. The rest of the team all looked happy. IQ is in high spirits, which is very, very good news for the team. Be able to give that advice and those crucial bits of information, where the team wants to go, how they want to play it out. You need all of your team to be happy. Though I am kind of worried about Godlike and Orangutan.
Okay.
Not because of gameplay we've seen so far, just because this is a finals at EWC. I think for them, it would be unwise not to say they're under pressure. I think if you're a fan of both these squads, and maybe today looks a little bit rough for them, I would caveat with that there is a tremendous amount weighing down on them right now, being in such a prestigious finals, versus some really damn good squads. I'm hoping they can probably get back into the run of it, like by match 3 potentially. But if it takes till tomorrow, I think that's fine as well. OG already still showing off that they have the rotations capability to make it happen. They got far into that late game, not a lot of eliminations, that's fine. Godlike similarly, still that aggression in play. I like to see it, but maybe not where we really wanted it to happen during that game.
I think it's also for teams like that, Blank. For our other squads that were forced to play survival stage, you've had to consistently keep grinding and keep that form on the go.
Yeah, exactly.
You come out from your group in those top team spots, you get a few days off, but that does cool you down a little bit. And the thing that's changed is what's going on behind us. The energy in the arena, the noise, the hype. They're getting excited because 4-5 has made the play. That's IQ with an opening takedown. But that's the difference as well. You come back into this area, Blank. Sure, with the noise-cancelling headphones, they might not be hearing it, but I tell you what, they can feel it. The vibration. I know the floor is trembling under my feet, so it'll be the same down there on the stage for our players. And if you're trying to instantly snap back into that tournament-winning mindset after a few days off with all this going on, it might take a game to try and lock back in.
Yeah. I don't like that, though, from Aurora. Because you can scout that a lot easier just by sending over towards the beachhead, having a look over towards Lighthouse and be like,
Vitality, Godlike, orangutan comeback and
it's an odd maneuver to try and just send someone, slingshot them across, and it's like, well, we know there's someone across there though, but you also just lost a player. Like, it's so early into the game, could have even just waited for zone 2. I'm curious to hear what the analyst desk has to say about that, because for me, that's just not EWC, PMWC potential. Right? That's not what that is.
Yeah, the trade of it, one player's life, one of your squad mates for an information play, economically, it's not the best trade on it. Especially if we see him get a good run out of this game. Goes down to an awkward fight. One player of difference, Blank.
Hell, I mean, even this circle right now, where it's down towards the eastern side, False Rhymes knows that. This is prime time to go for bridge camps.
Yeah.
Like, if this circle is further over towards the northwest, maybe you don't go for that type of thing. But I think this one, if you're Aurora, it shouldn't be a case of, oh, let's check if there's someone there. You should just know.
Devil's in the details. And it paints a very pretty picture here for some teams. For Aurora, it results in 3 players alive in game 2 to kick us off. Flash also having 1 player knocked here. Zone crunching in. Rich still in play. There you go, buddy.
Thought that this might be the case. On a circle like that, it's very, very awkward on these types of circles, and it can center up around bridge across both sides, which is super unfun to play. Because now this really could go back over towards Sosnovka way. I'm sort of expecting it to head towards the northwest, but for Aurora, they're stuck now. As are Alula. Alula's kind of considering whether we should take an eastern crossing or should we just play over towards the ridge side on the southern edge. It cuts out a massive amount of space though. So much water involved. So teams are just going to be sending towards Ferry Pier because there's safety in that location.
Vitality did thunderfoot their way down from Stolber quite quickly, so you can see there amongst the rest of the pack, everyone else attempting to forge a path into the zone, knowing that play space will be very limited with a decent chunk of it cut out by the water and that bridge dividing either team from each other. Only 2 squads on the island right now are Alula and Aurora. We've got E-Arena on screen now. This is the POV of Joker. Tiamba though, taking the scrap towards OG. With God being hit very heavy. Trying to stay behind the trees, bro. Luckily still alive.
Yeah, great zigzag. Able to stay out of dodge there for a second. I think he's very close to going down. AKOP actually challenging this. But man, A-King has been making a name for the DBS, right? You know, there's a lot of nerfs that came through. S12K became the more popularized weapon. Despite that, though, A-King has been consistently winning these trades of it.
He's bringing it back in fashion. Seems like the horror fans enjoying this one so far, getting quite loud there. You see the banner flying. Haru. Oh, going back in. Let's see what he can do in a DBS. Wants to prove he's the DB best up close and personal. On to Schwetz with the opener. Not ideal.
Orangutan boy. Orangutan outside.
Shotgun and Turney K outside. Twists the knife. Another one falls. And Orangutan tag. It all goes down to just Aru. Trapped behind the bike shed.
Okay, bye
Arena able to remove them. Stepped up to the plate, but not worthy to sit around here with Arena. Unfortunately, some good shots to start there, but started to crumble slightly. Tony K came in like a demon though from the sidelines. I think WizGod was not expecting him to be so up close and personal. Aura played back here. They're over towards the pier itself. Four Thrives mirroring them over towards the eastern side.
Orangutan is knocked out of this round.
They're like,
Hey.
it's horrendous. We're going to play in our drop spot for the rest of the game. We're going to get very looted before we think about moving. And we're still on Sosnovka with this one. Four Thrives looking good. Down towards the southern edge here. Vitality trying to confirm over towards that compound that sits towards the field. I don't think it's a bad idea here. Gives you a lot of control of the Longwoods that sits around this area. Not sure what S2G is doing. I think they've got boats. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, it seems like at least one boat in play there. Dream scenario, maybe it's a hovercraft wrap back over to the mainland, grab their teammates, then get involved with the action later. Meanwhile, though, Godlike taking on Tiamba. Milu on his last leg, suffering a casualty there for the Tiamba squad. It's a decent start, but Godlike have received one knock onto their roster. This is the establisher. You can see the fight here from the top down. QZZ with a nade into the ditch. Manya very low, but backpedals into safety with cover to play with.
First nade goes long here. X Power holding down the fortress, keeping that drawbridge pulled up. Takes a fair bit of damage here, but he's refusing to move. Manya will reinforce the front gates. Actually goes for a swing by, try and get some information on that. So Eagle's going to move round, understanding the position has been compromised.
Slowly trying to take some space back. Faint smoke wall goes up. Ooh, only gets worse for Aurora as well. That's quick from Alula finding them. This was the other team that was on the island. There's now a third party that's joined them with that late rotation round from S2G. Looks like they did go back to grab the rest of the squad. Yeah, it was Kamikaze in the hovercraft. That's paid off for them to fight towards them. Ulf, interestingly, taking the hit over as well to Godlike. So that battle turns into a third party fight.
For Godlike there, quick swing around. Take shots over towards Ulf. For them, Ulf should be able to pick the players back up. They've got a good spot right now. It's not as safe as they might like it to be, but it is decently central. It feels like the circle's peeling away from Sosnovka at this point. They have very limited space to work with. Alula trying to make the cross. S2G, Hamzi at distance. Will find a shot over towards Aurora there, leaving them at 0. Out of the game early, 23 points is where they'll end. On a single point earned on this one.
Aurora game.
So a great start on Rondo, but a bit of taste left in their mouths off the back of the Erangel performance.
But these guys have been playing the same game. I think it's the first time they've been inside the circle since the beginning. How does their entry work, actually? Matt, how are we still on the bridge?
Yeah, this is kind of unreal. At some point, I thought we'd move.
Yeah, we're still here. I mean, Sosnovka's still in as well. I cannot believe this.
Aluna also took another casualty from S2G on the backside, so they've called it quits and actually rushed over the bridge now into the mainland. Yeah. And that's only a trio blank. Damage onto Yasser as well.
Oh, Enigma Galaxy might try and trade up. They're just in. They're just in. They're absolutely playing a different game at the moment. I mean, I'm glad
Enigma Galaxy
go towards them now. It's just such a wild play from Enigma Galaxy. Coop's taking a hell of a lot of damage. Slowly careen it back in towards his team and lock it down. They have lost one off the back of that. Vehicles are smoking, flaming. Flashes Dashwood going out. I mean, that's 3 eliminations potential there for them, but they're worried about these sightlines at the side. Furia. Ooh. Go on. Give it some welly.
Tiamba doing Tiamba things once again. Tony K low on HP on the top floor, upside in the attic. Looking for an angle here, but Falak with the distant shot claps back onto Eagle. A-King gets a little bit high octane as he charges through the ground floor. Nade on the stairs. Mormon's cooking one of his own to bounce down. Godlike getting involved with a fight. That's Manya just outside the window. Big Papa Pump in his hands. So many teams crunching in.
Okay, good Molotov here, but really good timing from Godlike as they move into this one, just leaving A-King alive here for Tiamba. Irina on the upstairs with the 4v2v1. Really good stuff. I mean, this is a good entry point coming through for Godlike, and they understand if they can get rid of two teams, they're going to be opening up a lot of space down here. Edmino, still at high HP count, but Manya finally does fall here to a nade from Mormon. Tiamba goes down.
Smoke on the stairs. Mormon's going to clear it.
Oh!
Straight in with the clothesline. Whoa! The turnaround. Mormon saying, "Feed me more." As Godlike charge into him. Quick decision, but not fast enough on the mantle. Will save it, but at what cost? The only player left alive for the squad.
Yeah. I mean, Godlike need more men now. They're only down to one. What a play from Mormon. The speed, the velocity. Straight in there, no qualms. Now Vitality, they're up into it. This place has been the graveyard of 5 separate teams so far. Vitality finally just come over towards the dregs. The funeral's almost over. Can Salme stay alive as the sole participant?
The Vitality
from
the top floor. Or will they just be signing their death warrants on entry? Axel being shot in the back. A new challenger arrives. It's Hora in the distance as Jiggle is able to punish and soften them, leaving them with 3 players left. Sume still just guarding the stairs with a nade pin pulled. He's going to go down. Razak on a dive around the corner. He wants to punish him with a shot. He will find it.
Really, really good job from Razak. I think you have to make that play in that moment as well. You hear the pin pull coming down, trying to get the res off. You're trying to go for the revive, get some respite in that location. So Razak goes for the risky play to keep them up as 4, understanding they'll need that amount of players to push through the next couple of compounds. They got Aura in front of them and Forthrice after that. Alula down towards the south side circle, finally moved away. Still a lot of water on this one. Beachhead as well. Ida, as well as Ulf, now going at it. Ulf downstairs is knocked. They have 4 players up though right now. This is very easy to recover from. And it should be.
Whoa, you run straight into that one. Catching the as Ida try and clap back. It's good damage, but such an awkward setup between both of them. Casualties on either side. Scarface looking to go for the pickup play. Meanwhile, outside, Emre charging round with the SMG. And denied out by Nongshim Red Force. Tizzy takes that one.
Nongshim could push this pretty quickly. Ulf is not looking too good right now. Neither is Vitality. Flipping into action. They lose a vehicle. Razy and Razak try and get the buggy through the window, but end up dismantling through normally. That was a speedy rotate. I like that. You know, cut your losses. Moving through Aura as well as Forthrise is going to be hard, and eventually you get third pied by one of them. You hear the engagement happening on the north. You send it. Now Ulf is in a very tricky spot. Cut between 2 strong teams in Nongshim as well as Vitality.
Quick decisions and shades of the Vitality that we were so impressed by prior. Once again, back on our screens, it's only the 1 elim they've been able to garner so far. But they are licking their lips at the prospect of so much more.
Ooh.
Getting a little bit more here, you get yourself the Naruto skin in-game, as well as the Ninetales Fury Org. Both looking very cool here. Ulf's going to hopefully have to drop a substitution jutsu here to try and get out of this one, because it is going to be hard. Vitality, Razak move up, quick shots over towards Souls. He tries to move around the corner. Nongshim still in play. They're the ones getting the most of the damage though. Federales at least will confirm one. Quick switch around the side, denying some of the sight lines. As Ulf does go down. Vitality though, they've been hugging the wall so far. Not allowing a single moment for Nongshim Red Force to try and challenge that spot. Razak though, what are you doing? Testing the waters, a little bit hot.
Yeah, did not like the feeling of that one. Although maybe he wants to go for it from a slightly different approach. Runs back out. Meanwhile, attention turns onto Federales, and that is another knock going the way of Nongshim. Oh, Razak.
Oh, yeah, good shots.
He's got so easy, very low. Nade right on top of him as well, following up from that. Oh, mate. Hyunbin with the instantaneous conversion. Now it's a raw 3-on-3. Luckily, they will save Federales, but he's got to top himself back up.
I mean, Razak understood the idea. Now he tries to get up towards the wall, create a different angle to deal with. Nongshim was quick to it. Hyunbin pushing up right now. He's a little bit close for comfort here. But I think they know they want to get rid of this guy sooner rather than later. But he has pulled these kind of antics before. Getting a little too aggressive. Without the help of the rest of the team, so easy goes down the back lines as Flash starts to move on through.
Tizzy tries his might, rapid shots coming out, but not enough to finish Vitality. The end of Nongshim Red Force, but it does leave Vitality slightly weakened. And Flash, they are next in line to try and keep them pinned here, knowing eventually they'll have to move. Slightly paranoid about the other teams that could be behind them.
Blue is ushering Vitality forward, swinging in on the same angle as Flash. How will they make this work? S2G, you were right. You were actually right. They had two hovercrafts in play. Being able to keep both of these alive all the way through to this end game is giving them a lot of pressure. Loss isn't quite able to get it up though. And the hovercraft is stuck on the side. Yeah, just about. We'll take it. I mean, that... Just letting it happen.
അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും വെടിവെച്ച് പോലും. നാലഞ്ച് ടീമേ ബാക്കിയുണ്ട്.
His teammates taking a fair bit of damage, but with that added armor of these big hovercrafts in play. If you say like this, man, if you can get them into the zone, there could be a lot you could do with it late game. I'm surprised the Lula have been able to guard this for so long, make it look uncomfortable. Nade after nade as well, just trying to soften them up.
Vitality do move over to the side. They're looking down over towards fourth rise. The shots are pouring in. S2G, they brought repair kits as well with them. But the blowtorch in play, I mean, that's bold. On fire. Get out. Falak down. Aura, no fear. Drops them all up top side. Looks fairly decent on that one. Airburst are slightly too far. This is some comedy. Not gonna lie to you.
Okay, they should be able to clean up from here at least, as long as there's not any more mistakes. It's damage done onto Sol K, but they do hold on. Shut down Alula.
What was that?
Bit of a weird one.
It was a weird one. I'm glad you picked it up strong though, because
Vitality
it's an important fight. It's just interesting. Vitality go down in the meantime as Flash continues to push the advantage, but it is majority of fourth rise doing that damage. Enigma Galaxy, after their strange approach from the early game, now going out slowly but surely. Just Rauf as well as Lord. Flash has been all over the place so far. Next circle will pull in stage 7. Fourth Rise have been weathering it though. They have held a ton of space. It has been a little bit greedy, but they've been doing a good job of playing off one another. Yes, they've taken some knocks here and there, but they've maintained a 4-man. They're in this area early, and they understand better than anyone else. This is a game that they should be doing well on. I don't think I'd put as much pressure on and say this is a game they should win from the spot they had at the start, but it should be at least a top 5, which I think, you know, we've already achieved. So this is a good game from Fourth Rise and shows that they still have it in them.
And with them being able to have enough timing here to get IQ back up once again, the 2-2 split from them could still pay dividends massively. It's been a very elongated firefight between them and Hora, effectively just mirroring each other's movement up along the ridge into the zone. A little bit more split here, no fear in the back, trying to protect some Overwatch. Right, above you in the building as well. Meanwhile,
നിങ്ങളെല്ലാം
it's an
കഴിച്ചു.
engagement over onto Enigma Galaxy. S2G, after moving in and cleaning out the Lula, they head center zone, and they find the final blow there. Goodbye, Enigma Galaxy. S2G stealing points here, there, and everywhere.
Do we have to call this play the kamikaze from now on, where S2G just launch him out like a rocket to center circle and leave him there on his own?
He loves it.
This is the kamikaze. This is crazy stuff. The rest of S2G trying to regroup with him, but it's not likely. Kamikaze in play right now. The other hovercraft does go down, not really any other vehicles. Might need to regroup, pick it back up again, but Kamikaze, he's going to hold that spot. He's planted the flag, the S2G flag. T24 goes down, jiggle around the side.
Ooh, Sleepy. Top side of the stairs, but you can't weather the storm as 4 Thrives arrives and the brain of the operation kicks in the brawn. The shotgun does damage. Falak there in the back line to assist, but no fear. Charging up. He's going to play on the edge, wants to run in now with the timing, see if he can shut them down. Falak charges back, can't do it. No fear, holds on. Quick switch to the primary. Gets himself onto an off angle. With one more play, if he can shut down IQ, he can take out 4.
Oh, Fortress 1v4. Fortress അടിച്ചിട്ട് എന്തോ പൊന്നു.
As he moves downstairs, pushes up into the dark, and 4 Thrives will fall. Win up against the world right now. DPS at distance, he's fighting all of them, but S2G falling in the meanwhile. No fear. There's a possibility of winning this if he wants to push out right now.
Get involved in the action. Everyone's weakened.
ഓരോ ഒറ്റ ഒരാളെ ഉള്ളൂ ബാക്കി. 1v2 1v2.
Losing their last man there with Kamikaze continuing to punish. Oh, a horrible spot, tries to get the heal in. Kamikaze's got a single nade in the back pocket if he chooses to dash it. They've got clear vision now, peppering the bullets. This is it. Pulls the pin, looking to cook. Let's see if he can land it.
Kamikaze looking for a bit of splash damage. We're not just there yet. Kamikaze keeps spraying the right location with the bullets, peppering the ground, picking up mud. Solke in the back lines. What's left out here? Quite an unfamiliar target. Solke will take down Tops, but Kamikaze is out, and we're down to a 1 versus 1 versus 1. The outside contender in no fear. Solke looking at both angles.
The battle of the solos to decide our second game, chicken dinner. No fear already picking up that big clutch. He's amped up as an individual. Got a rough read on where he believes Solke can be stationed, tucked in behind this burnt-out hovercraft.
I don't think he knows. I think he knows there's a team in that general direction, but he does not know where No Fear is. Hamzy G finally goes down. I think No Fear has a rough idea that he's playing on this hovercraft, though. He has the information. Watching both of them. This would be an unbelievable double clutch up versus 4 Thrives into the last 2 teams. Zeus is just pushing forward. Instant spot, though. No Fear. And now Zeus with all to do here. Flash, who had swept everyone aside. Solke, the last to fall potentially here versus Team Flash.
Zeus, the lightning reactions for Flash have guaranteed them a second place, but can he take it to first, or will Solke get it done for S2G? A smoke wall, giving him limited play space. That tree, the only protection for the peak for Flash. He's going to make his move. Starts charging in, wants to close the distance. Here's the peak up, bullets on target. Sweet solo, buckles under the pressure. That's the damage coming through
S2G.
as they lock it in.
S2G, Kamikaze.
ഞാൻ അപ്പൊ കഴിക്കാൻ എടുത്തിട്ട് വരാം guys.
It's an explosive finish right at the end. But Solke steps up, a lad that's been in the esport for the longest of time. He's still got it in him.
Feeding the crowd energy. A celebration in unison for the nation as they pop off on that one. S2G locking it down and everyone's living it up.
And it's all in the name, because it is all gonna be okay at the end of the game for S2G. They had a lot of confidence coming into this one.
They look good on the stage. They look good in the game. Is this the S2G comeback that we were looking for? Aggression, confidence, some brilliant gun skill. Showing us a lot of the moves we needed to see on that one. A smart rotation from start to finish as well, playing by their own rules, Blank.
I think the thing for me is just, man, 2 matches so far, they have been both electric. I mean, this shot from Zeus.
Oh, the quick reactions, dude. That sent me.
His eyes must be going 2 different directions, man. He'd be seeing everything.
He was so locked in for an S2G fight. I don't even know how he clocked him, but instantly.
He said it, lightning flash reactions. That's what it is. I mean, it's so good from this team so far. I mean, they were involved in everything.
Yeah.
I think Horror, honestly for them, yeah, it's a tough fight versus Fourth Rise, but you've got to be happy with the way that No Fear clutched up there. That is an incredible finish of those guys. Yes, Horror had a good spot on the sideline, but it's so many teams constantly pouring in, cycling out time and time again. I don't think that was an easy game whatsoever.
And you can feel it looks a little bit different with this lobby compared to what we had in isolation in groups, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's so much more quick to the punch, a lot more early contact. And it feels like sometimes we were seeing maybe a bit too much respect for the big dogs. Now everyone's playing on the same level. It feels like we're all on an equal footing here, and they're giving it their best. It really has changed the dynamic. But let's get down and hear from Kalaris himself on the stage about what they have to say.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Yes, you can cut the tension with a knife here at the moment for our first 2 games. And I'm here with our winners from game 1, of course, Ralph from Nigma Galaxy, to talk to about them. Some of the games that have happened so far. So let's talk about that first game, in that late game against Aurora there. What was your anticipation as a team? Did you think Aurora had maybe moved a little bit earlier? Or talk to me about the late game and what you guys were experiencing.
I mean, we didn't really know. We didn't have much info. But we just played it slow. We took our fights that we need to take, and we just secured the win at the end.
I mean, it looks good at the end, right? Of course, getting that many points off of a Rondo. Not a bad start at all for a grand final like this. That second game, a bit harder, I think.
Yeah, second game was a bit harder. I mean, we have a team hot dropping us, but they're scared to fight. I don't know, they're camping. So we'll see next games what they do.
I was going to say, were you surprised by that? Because it was in the back. We were a little surprised that they were going to come your way. As we've talked about multiple times, it's your territory. So what are they doing?
They know we won't change, so they're just wasting their time. And they're coming to fight, but they don't want to fight. So I'm really confused right now.
All right, well, thank you very much for joining me here, Ralph. You heard it out there. He's got his eyes on you.
My name's Blank, and I've had 4 coffees, and I'm testing my reaction time right now.
I'm Hot Jukes. I just had a massage, and this is my reaction time.
Let's get it. Yes, my reaction score is pretty damn good. I actually don't think it has something to do with anything else or anything like that. But what about you, Jukes?
I don't care. Cut.
in hovercrafts. That is like white on rice right now, because my goodness, what a performance out of that squad. Before we break down that second match here in finals, don't forget that we do have the fan experience that you can check out here at EWC. Make sure you go check it out. You can check out the new mode, Brain Rot Royale. Check out the collaboration right now that PUBG Mobile is doing with Naruto, and so much more. And you can win some really cool shirts, which actually we've been wearing them. Not right now. I think Jukes does have one on, but you'll be able to check out so much stuff. Yeah, check out that still Brain Rot. I mean, Brain Rot Royale. I've been playing it. I think I got to level 7. I've seen people being able to get to level 11. I gotta grind some more.
Wow, 7.7.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yes. Gotta keep it on brand, baby. Now that's it. I'm not gonna be playing it anymore. But S2G, Jukes.
Bro.
My goodness.
Oh, dude, that double hovercraft play right there at the end was absolutely insane. They were able to take out Aula in a very nice way. And then just, I like to see that they kept one player there, right by the water, behind the hovercraft, just in case. And he was able to clutch it up at the end and get that chicken dinner. Finally, an S2G win, and nice and early.
Yeah, really, really nice. And the momentum they were able to pick up on after, getting those hovercrafts. Very quick side note here, while we're on this fight, 4 Thrives are looking, I hate to say it, very shaky. I don't know what happened, because group stage, they were looking really, really solid, just not able to get that win. Here, the splits are kind of off. They're pushing one by one. They're not really communicating, it feels like. So the last 2 games, I've not been super impressed with them, but hopefully that changes in the next game.
And for 4 Thrives, I felt like it took him way too long, Niptura, to engage the fight there with Hora, just coexisting for too long, and No Fear came in clutch with that 1 versus 2.
He really did, and he continued to come in clutch for a lot of the game. Actually, he was a big part of the team this game.
Yeah, I just think he just made a big play. I mean, what can you do against that? When No Fear comes up and clutches it up, I mean, Aura fans are screaming these guys' names at the top of their lungs, and to be able to clutch it up like that is just huge. So yeah, unfortunate for 4 Thrives, huge for No Fear.
Another team that has been performing quite well today when we talk about eliminations has been none other than Nongshim Lace. This was the biggest feedback that we gave this squad during groups and also survival, and they're finally starting to put up those eliminations. As you can see, Nongshim Red Force right now with 9.
Yeah, absolutely, 7. I mean, they're finding important fights on their rotation to solidify that position, especially on that northern side. They were able to sort of catch Furia off guard, and now I do want to kind of segue into Furia and to why I need to highlight this. But one of our most aggressive playstyle teams is prioritizing the rotate on Rondo. We actually saw them grab utility, move into zone, and Max actually made a good point about this when NGX was sort of on the, I think it was the eastern side next to E Arena. Furia should have just pushed them into it, caused that fight. They would have had control over that whole entire side because they just sort of stopped the revive from Ulf. Then again, on this map, they found themselves in the position, and Nongshim, from the northern side, just obliterated their defense. This is just unusual for Furia. They are the power play team. They're the ones that get in a goddamn vehicle and shooting out the window and making that position them. It's just unusual.
They're right. They are supposed to be that aggressive team, and they're currently not showcasing that. In the opposite, like you just mentioned, and I was mentioning too, Nongshim is putting up those eliminations. But something happened at the end of that last game. With the hovercrafts and S2G, that was a little bit sketchy, Net.
It was a little bit. It was a bit touch and go here, but the momentum they've been able to build with these hovercrafts, they had 2 or 3, and they just went, let's go for it. And it's this replay that I want to talk about here, because look how they're going to play this. It's like my driving. First of all, Secondly, look how they take that first hovercraft and they deny the sightlines of Aula, right? They separate them one by one. They can no longer play as a duo. They try and get as many of those sightlines abolished as possible with those hovercrafts. And to be honest, S2G with those hovercrafts have been actually insane. It feels like because they take more damage to explode, and they have it's just a tank, and so they are able to just run with it. They were making crazy rotations from the very beginning of the game. They had those positions on the rocks in the middle of the water, which are normally inaccessible, but having 2 hovercrafts, I wonder if other teams are going to start picking up on that, because that was an insane game from S2G.
I mean, we've seen it happen in the past too, and you just sounded like Max there for a second. I have to double check to make sure it was Michael Natura Jackson or if it was Maxman, but we're looking at the overall ranking here. Nick McGalaxy is currently in first place with those 26 points. Aurora, What happened at the top of that bridge? That man ended up falling down, and he actually ended up hurting Aurora with the rotation that they were looking to do into the main island.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate there. I mean, that's what it's all about. You know, you're trying to be able to get into that end game and make those plays, and if you're Aurora, you know, 24 points on the board, you can't shake your head at. You know, and S2G being able to get that win, push themselves up to third place. You know, I like what we were talking about there about Nongshim a little bit earlier, right?
Hey, just look at the elements.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. 18 eliminations, and they would have gotten even more if it wasn't for those clutch plays from Vitality right there.
Yeah.
Because we saw absolute Hyunbin in action, making some serious plays. But hey, again, super clutch moments here.
We have to talk about some of these other teams that are currently on the second page. I know it is the first day of PMWC at EWC 26 finals. It's only 2 games, but there is some things that we're starting to notice here, especially with 4 Thrives, the passengers that you were kind of talking about earlier, Neptura, as well as OG. OG needs to start being a little bit more aggressive and making sure that they look a bit more cohesive when you are being aggressive, because they were pushing one by one. It seems like a chicken without its head.
Yeah, it really did, and also they're losing players very, very early on. I think we've had that in both games now, where they're losing at least 1 or 2 of their players. Godlike have had a better opportunity to keep their players alive. They've been split up a little bit more. They've been using a little bit more of the zone, but it's just when they actually get down to the fight towards the end game, that's where they start to falter, and that's why we're not seeing those strategies convert into points. So that's what we need to see there.
And India, if I have learned anything about OG, it is they need their 3rd game. So don't count them out yet. I've learned my lesson. Don't you stress. Orangutan in their 3rd match, what they tend to do is actually prioritize just kind of scoping what the rest of the teams are doing, making their game plan. Game 3, 4 is where they set their sights on fire.
Oh, I like that one. Now this is the group of death. This is the group of death, and this does feel like a finals right now with the way that some of these teams are playing. One man that I know is happy because he ended up picking that team that was in the top 3 here, none other than Team Flash. Maxman is looking to make sure he reverses curse, so let's send it over to Maxman in Calaris.
Well, we're not going to let him do any predictions here. That would be very, very serious indeed. But of course, we take a look at how things have gone down so far here in these 2 games. And we did have an interview just with Ralph, who's also a little bit confused about said hot drop.
I saw the hot drop that could happen on the map before this event. I'm like, they're not going to go for it because Nigma Galaxy has been dropping in Pachinki before I was even born. And yet, a team is trying to contest it away from them. And as he said, they're going for the hot drop, but they're not fighting and very confused, and they just see the loot truck pass by like, oh, my P90. No P90. So, Ida, I might want to change that because it's not helping you out.
I think it's going to be difficult for them to go up against that, but we will see if it continues. Ralph is also a little bit confused. Let's pivot kind of where we're at here as well. They've already alluded to it on the desk and how things have gone down so far for S2G, but just masterful control of the double hovercraft. Some crazy plays and the send out of Kamikaze to be able to make that work. For S2G, that was very, very impressive.
Yeah, it's just a domain expansion double hovercraft. I'm sure you get that reference right there, Calaris. But no, great use of it, especially you saw there in the during a little bit of a replay analysis where they block out the line of sight of one of the players of Alula to really separate them and win the fight off the back of that. When you're near the water, when you have these open-ended finish, hovercraft are, I'm going to have to say it, they're completely broken, and S2G made full use of it until the very end of that game.
A tough circle though, right? If you think about where Aurora was when it comes to the bridge as well, we're having kind of conversations in the back about this is a military island kind of heavy team, and yet the bridge seems like a conundrum to them that can't solve like a Rubik's Cube.
It was a bit weird, especially because Top was on top of the bridge itself. And I think the player 4 Thrives got an angle onto him, so he goes down, kind of drops to his death at that point, right? And then the team tries to go and back up and hopefully get him back up on his 2 feet. But then Al-Ula were very sneaky, pushing right behind them on the bridge. I think Aurora, they're very experienced on that western bridge. We should be expecting more on the finish like this. So, you know what? First Durangle, it's fine. But the next Durangle, they need to show up.
All right, well, thank you very much, Maxman. It is time to head on over to the commentator team once again for game number 3 of the finals. Let's do it.
There we go, we'll pick up that throw. Thank you very much, James. There's a good arc on that one. Swift, great elbow on you. You can tell he used to be a drummer, but we'll be beating the drums of absolute anticipation and excitement here, Blank, as our 3rd game of the day is about to get underway.
Yeah, national gods as well as we get into this game, because it is going to be a lot to talk about going so far. I mean, even from watching the desk, to watching the stage hits, to watching the interviews, there's a lot to break down over the last match, and even just the 2 games we've had so far, there's been a lot going on. 4 Thrives on the first game, having a little bit of a misstep, and then coming to the second one, looking a lot better. But so many good scenes. I'm very confident to say this is about as competitive as it gets in PUBG Mobile right now. I think we have the right teams here with us. We go into our third match of the day as we get towards our halfway point. Shooting range to start off down towards Novo. Straight through the center, really easy one here, Jackie, very nice. I think most people get exactly where they need to go. Aurora, last game, like you said before, looked a little bit weakened, right? I mean, even Max picked up on it. He was saying that, hey, as the team's very experienced around this area of the map, should not be going down so early like this. It should be a game that you are a bit more in control of. Wasn't the case here. Tiamba, they go out early. Extend a little bit further down towards the south side of the map on the west.
You'd hope they'd be able to bounce back from that one here. Obviously, it was a nice start on game one, but that didn't really translate over. Has meant there was a little bit more fluctuation in the standings, obviously for Tiamba as well.
Hello. Welcome, bro. ഞാൻ കഴിക്കുകയാണ്. കഴിച്ചിട്ട് ഞാൻ ക്യാമറ ഓണാക്കാം. ക്യാമറ ഓഫാക്കി വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്നു.
Still living his movie though, in terms of individual plays, as he was popping off on Rondo, was a big piece of the team. I wonder if we'll have something early here from Hora and Aurora. And where's that zone going to go? We've had some wacky zones this LAN. It's been kind of crazy.
Yeah, most circles have just been very strange so far, very odd to play. And we had a couple towards the end of survival stage, which I think I was quite grateful for, that we're more normalized on Erangel at least, where teams can actually play out their game. Enigma Galaxy versus Ida. No idea why this is happening, by the way. It's actually very strange. I'll explain once it's done. I mean, Kalaris already went over it in the interview, but the context is crazy on it. Ralph with the M249. There's some good shots done. Actually, Enigma Galaxy doing quite well here, but already losing a player does feel bad, and it being Coops is even worse. Taken on the side. Lord hits some shots with Abacan. It's back and forth here. Swine last left to face. Ooh. And Ralph will get it done with the M24. He's screaming!
He's up, he's standing up.
Give them large for that. It is absolutely insane that they continue to come here. For context, Enigma Galaxy has dropped in this location for years upon years, and they say it every time. In fact, they actually say it to the crowd and to all the players, we will never switch our hot drops. So it is never worth it to fight Enigma Galaxy inside of Pachinki. Sadly for them, Fourth Rise feels like we can get some easy points off the back of this one. You guys just come off a fight. We know you've come off a fight. This is a great read from Fourth Rise. I actually love this.
Oh, mate, didn't see him on the angle. Fourth Rise spotting Lord. So as much as there was a pop-off of them defending their home turf on the hot drop, like you say, Fourth Rise know you're slightly weak. They'll look to get in there, twist the knife, and completely knock them out of the game, denying any more points on this.
I mean, to be honest, you do wonder, Fourth Rise boys, they see a big hubbub go over by the Enigma Galaxy camp, and they're like, they've just won that fight.
We should get involved.
We should fly over. Oh, cheeky work, but you got to make the point somehow. Ralph the M249. Looking for some good damage, but the shouts from the crowd start to ring out. Fourth Rise might look to back away from this one. Allowing Ralph as well as Satan to live another day. Circle did move up towards the northeast side. I don't know what Ida's doing, man. It's akin to throwing away all of your angles.
Yeah, it feels like one of those where it's kind of cutting your nose off to spite your face.
Yeah.
As much as, you know, it's your spot too. If it's not working, you got to adapt. Gigantic prize pool on the line. You fought this hard to be in finals. Don't ego challenge if you don't need to. But for Fourth Rise, can they find those elims they wanted off the back of this counter play? T24 spotted on the drop. Let's see if he can go for the peak off this. And of course for you, you can get involved with that Naruto event at home.
4T up top. T24, he's got an inkling. Smells him out on this one. senses his Reiatsu inside the building. Satan underneath. Ooh, slightly slow on the timing there, and T24 tries to use the DBS. He's swinging around in circles. Satan's not sure where to look on this. The rest of Fourth Rise will come into hold. Finds the first. Takes more damage though. Ralph is nowhere nearby to help. Drops him down to 1. And it's an easy revive here on T24 inside the building. Church held.
Then get the revive back on T24. And Ralph's just had to stay, man. It's where he's been for so long.
You'd be furious.
Yeah, you'd be fuming.
You win it twice. You win the hot drop twice back to back. It happens again, it costs you a game. And not even because of them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's the thing, it just comes back to haunt you, right? Here we go, this is the full replay on it, so you get all the action. Oh, mate, it's carnage from the start. Obviously, we had Coops go down early, and like you say, they pop off to win it. We saw the celebration from Ralph, literally sending a message live in the event. Live in the flesh, said it with his chest. They deserve the drop spot, but Ida don't want to give it up, and it's just really making it uncomfortable for both of those teams to get anything in these games.
It's the best Nick McGuire's looked in a long time as well. I think that's the saddest thing about it, and now it's happened in finals. And it's happened so frequently in the past as well, where Nick McGuire's just got to challenge another team for their drop spot. It's not guaranteed theirs for sure, but they've held it the entire tournament. Come on, guys.
No fear getting ran down by Aurora, as Top will find him on the move. Fourth Rives did peace out, going slightly deeper into the zone to do a bit of loot, and obviously wasting a decent amount of time on that as well for the elim they were able to garner.
Vitality down towards the southwest, started in Kameshki style, but this time we're sending him over towards Gatka, but they grabbed themselves the loot truck. Fiend as much as they can out from there. Circle up towards that north side, split between the lake, Yasnaya on the south side, on School, as well as Severny, shooting range area. Tiamba tighten it in with E-Arena, Aurora, Godlike. Salme currently holding down the gas station, pops up tire. He can't come through here for repairs. He's got more bullets though.
Yeah, only 18 left. One in the clip, 17 in a hole. Let's see if he can turn some bodies cold on this push-up. Top gonna drop down back behind the car. So Aurora taking a fair bit of damage. More reserve taps now. Got to find himself some ammo to play with. Switch it out to the Tommy just to keep the pressure on them. Suppressive fire.
Spraying it through, cutting the grass, but not quite finding the shots over towards the players. Next circle, 10 seconds roughly on this one. Aurora still figuring out where they want to play. Probably going to be a big old retreat here out. Migrate for a lot of squads. Hard shift potentially. No, actually. Very, very kind. Up towards that north side. Obviously, Lake is a bit of an awkward one to play around. You're going to see a lot of people playing on the rocky outcrops. The staging that goes up towards Stalba. Big old mountainside. There is also... Never mind, it's horrible. I lied to you. It's not great. You got the field down towards Yasnaya-tsu, so there's not a huge amount of fun spots to play in. You have to decide a rotation in now and quickly. Do you wrap on the north? Do you wrap on the south? Because you can't really change that as time goes on because of Yas Lake.
Mormon from E-Arena once again, being able to throw out some big uppercuts. That's back onto Aurora. So single knock there. We have the Tianba POV on rotation. Getting themselves into a fair place so far. Mormon keeping it going. Ooh, that's Vitality as well, with Razy hitting a very big blow back onto Godlike. A lot of fights breaking out across the battleground. Individuals being knocked. Ulf coming in with some show-stopping rotates. Oh, right into the nade. Wizgod had that one ready for him.
Got it primed. I mean, for Ulf, Aaron comes in swinging. But yeah,
Oh,
he got
Gordon
shut
boy.
down very, very quickly there.
Gordon പോയി മൂന്നൊരു
Scarface
പോയി.
looks to send a nade, but I don't even know if think it's worth it anymore to go for this. Also deep on the south side of the map, need to swing back further up in Yazway. Alula instantly takes up the cliffside. Aurora decides they're going to go loot Severny. I mean, to be fair, they had taken quite a fair hit earlier on. Spent a little bit of ammo. Potentially some of the vests are starting to wear down, some of the helmets. Get some resets on that before you get moving.
Tiamba tackling against the Vitality Killer Bees once more. And it's Milu that's already showing that consistent form. Putting himself up to 10 elims on the day, I believe, then after that. Nice start for the first 3 games.
Milu keeping it a little bit quiet, though. Now playing a little bit of a split on this one. They've got Eagle a little bit further forward, perched up. Over towards Aura. Very much slowing down now at the halfway portion, Jackie. Trying to maintain some of that lead because some teams have struck out in a big way. I mean, Enigma Galaxy are absolutely 30 points right now. Aurora at 26. They were able to earn 3 after that last game. In the first, I think they were got 23 on that one. So last game was a bit of a dud. Hope they can find more of this one. Centers up over towards Tiamba as well as Aura. So those 2 compounds there are going to be a really big deal. Aura actually has the high ground on this one, the plateau that surrounds them. Very nice to be able to take shots out towards teams as they push on in. Sadly, Alula's much more high ground spot gets pulled off. So you're going to have to move over towards that western side. Yasser pulled away. I like this move from 4 Thrives though, Jackie. This is good.
4 Thrives still looking pretty nice in some of the encounters we've seen individually. Another roster we know that could be very explosive. Let's see if they can bring the boom on this one straight up towards the setup from Alula. Quick on top. Got a pump action in the back pocket, ready for it if they can close the gap. Bit of overwatch from R3B on the top side with Claws relatively close to assist. Fast reactions onto the position of Falag, but the shot's not connecting.
Falag taking a little bit of damage here, down to half. Claws as a nade though, it's not the craziest of sends on this one. Good bounce on it, actually. That would have been on target if he hadn't moved. I mean, Falag just takes the time. Here's the arc on that one. So he doesn't want to have any part of it. Tough circle though, man. Very, very tough circle. The majority of the center is taken up by that water. I actually do really like S2G's position. They're playing over towards those compounds that sit just a little bit east over towards the lake itself. Oh, sorry, the cliff face. You got flash down towards those compounds, but S2G currently playing on that rocky outcrop on the northern side, just holding out teams on the south here. Tiamba's actually even going to crunch in towards that little bank.
Fine margins between this going wrong for either of these 2 teams in 4 Thrives and Alula. So not wanting to risk it too much. Meanwhile, OG crossing past the crosshairs of Nonshin Red Force with Zizzy taking the peak over the top. Got the heavy weaponry ready to rock them if they stay close by. And luckily they have at least been able to create some space between the 2. Double back over to the bridge where Rolf is stationed.
Yeah, they know OG's in the area as well. See, Aaron struggled versus them earlier on his flying maneuver into the gas station. Tried to go for the movie entrance, but we went straight to credits instead. Yeah, Ulf hoping to hold them on the bridge side. Next circle though, I'm feeling the pizza slice here over towards the west. I mean, Aurora currently have a really strong position on it, and we do head over there in fact, but it's like a case of Aurora holding the central spot. They have a lot of 360 vision, but it's very open, Jackie. This is a very, very open area, a little bit unfun. There's quite a few radio towers and the square concretes that sit underneath them that end up being like where you play. You literally just lie down next to them, try and set up vehicles. You can see Vitality already sending over. But this is quite a nice spot for Aurora. It's a tiny bit of hard cover, a little bit of a crescent lit behind them as well.
Well, that's the last man for Enigma Galaxy, and Ralph trying to stay alive for as long as he can, but finally falls to S2G. S2G possibly being collapsed upon as well by 4 Thrives. They fall next.
Yeah, good fight. Very good fight from 4 Thrives. S2G tried to jump the gun there, Jackie, and ran straight into titanium wall. A lot of hopes riding on these 3 players from Aurora, though. Another good game here. Sets them a little bit further ahead. Make up for that previous match there on Arundel. Not the greatest of pushes across the bridge to begin.
To be fair, with Nigma and S2G going down early, not really acclimating too many points on this one. It could be the dream recovery for Aurora if they can keep it up. Unfortunately for Godlike, Adamino unable to withstand the hit that is thrown towards him. Furia will get their mates back up and live on to fight on this one. 4 of our squads out of the running into the 3rd game so far.
Nongshim on that south side, actually trying to push on in, but there's quite a few teams there. Nongshim's just gonna barge over towards OG. Tanky's already down. Another nade towards the backside here. Good damage from Hyunbin, as always. Looking very, very strong. Hits the deck. Good dodge on that. Second nade's a bit stronger though. Aru now needs to get back into action. The rest of Nongshim Red Force lagging behind as Flash still continues to create a little bit of a nuisance for them in tops.
Back and forth blows, but Orangutan still being able to withstand. Uncomfortable for Nongshim, actually, man. Yeah, that's a nice flick back up towards the Wizard Tower, and it keeps him pinned in position, so he can't provide too much Overwatch.
Bad spot now. I mean, no position to help the rest of his team. It's a cool side swipe coming through from tops as well. Caused so many problems on the back line there for Nongshim Red Force. Just weren't quite quick enough. He's going to have an even deeper look into this one. He wants to get up close and personal, investigate. Potentially some more eliminations here left at the crime scene.
He's still trying to get an angle on this. The minute you got to move, he'll be ready for the catch. And Furia over on the other side of the coast have been taking shots over as well, so it's all been a little bit uncomfortable for the 4 squads that have been collapsing in onto that one position. This gas station for OG somehow being a very formidable defensive area.
Oh. Calling it from zone 3 there. I got a little bit lucky, but yeah, Aurora in a really, really good spot now. This is definitely redeemable city here for Aurora. We just need to not see them go for something silly again. That is all.
Yeah, just keep their cards close to their chest and be able to close this one out with some good plays. To be honest, mate, that is kind of the dream with what we saw off the back of this game with the other squads above them falling out early. It has presented that opportunity, and like you say, if they can grab it, you've recovered from that. We can all forget about game 2. Everything looks good for them, and they'd actually be on that podium spot in first place come the end of this game. But that's still in the future. Still a lot of other teams that could potentially look to upset them. So we'll stick with the narrative as it develops. This is their position right now. 4 Thrives going in against the arena. Doc looking to decimate some damage out, and he does hit nice. Good shot onto Falak. A little bit more they can do here.
I like that though. Good smoke. Oh, towards the rock side to kind of isolate this engagement between them and 4 Thrives in the arena on the northern edge. Makes a ton of sense to me as well. That Vitality location is going to be a real problem for you. That's a long nade. Actually hits on target, great damage, and they just keep on pumping in. 4 Thrives are out. But yeah, I mean, that's some massively long nades on that one.
Just chaining them together as well, one after another, after another. They want to go in to grab the bits. Drop the smoke, try and stay alive. Issue is you're now in a position where other teams can take shots onto you for free.
Yeah. Good. I mean, Doc is holding on. He is holding on. I think he's got that mentality where it's like, well, I'm sorry guys, I ran out that time. I will play anchor for the rest of the day, and I will keep you lads safe. It's a good shot over towards Silence. The rest of Fury need to re-angle over towards it, but it takes a gun away from that western side. But Aurora had to do that. They had to push over towards 4 Thrives. They knew that it's not likely in the near future they're going to be getting many more death crates, and they need that util. They need that ammo to carry on inside of this match.
Hello.
In the wings.
To restart and get
ഗോഡിന്റെ മോശം എല്ലാം പോയി താഴെയാണ്
They've been doing a pretty effective job of harassing a lot of
പാടാണ്
our
ഇത്
distance as
ജയിച്ച്
well
കയറി
for
വരാൻ
the last couple of minutes, keeping pressure on them. Playing a little bit safer here in their setup. Window peak with good eye line onto some of the other teams. Scarface on the long wrap around back up the coastal ridge over towards the bridge side, going to be coming in from the back near Vitality and Flash. This is his angle on the move. Ooh, spotted out. Starting to lose his HP bit by bit. Got to drop down to the deck and hope that he can hold on.
Can't even sure how he's lived this long. I mean, Tops has got to know someone's mover here, the pitter-patter of the footfall. Close the distance. Scarface is instead just going to go for the heel. Tops pulls the pin. He should know. It should be right on the edge of the blue here. Good air burst will do the trick. Ruins the amount of healing that came through there. Aura from the sidelines, though, will get sleepy and over towards Bose. Top, though, is the one to refrag over towards that. Tiamba aching moving forward. Gets behind that radio tower. This is a good spot to aggress over towards Aurora on. But more importantly, hold out on the southeast side. Good nades again. Goodness me, Aurora's having none of it.
You feel the base on that one. More coming as well. Air burst over the top side. Trying to mark it around the corner.
ഫസ്റ്റ് ഒരു ചിക്കന് കയറിപ്പോ ഇതിപ്പം ഓക്കെയാണ്. ഈവൻ ലാസ്റ്റിലുള്ള ടീമിന് ഇപ്പൊ ഫസ്റ്റ് അടിക്കാനുള്ള ചാൻസ് ഉണ്ട്, കാരണം സ്മാഷ് റൂൾസ് ഉള്ളതുകൊണ്ട് എളുപ്പമാണ്.
I think they just wanted to get the flush at least, but not meant to be. That's a lot of nades invested there for basically nothing. Aking's going to send back one of his own. Now they're fully set up over here on the radio tower. Good Molotovs, man. A bit more damage done. Chip damage from the nades should be good enough. So start to bombard now. But they're splitting the difference on these ones. They know they have to go for one side, and it is over towards Doc. Survives the first. Blasts the shrapnel, and should survive the second.
So many nades though, and Doc, although the shrapnel hits him in the face, he takes that peek and shuts one player down once again. 6 nades thrown out for no real follow-up from it. So it goes both ways for either of these two teams. Top with the instant adjustment back over onto E Arena. No, he's being collapsed upon from 2 sides between this team.
Shreps now. Get the res on of E Arena. E Arena, you know, actually haven't been too bad. I think for the points they currently have, it's 19, but they've been consistently up towards at least the top 8 every game. Vitality still taking more shots here. Tiamba is the one to take down Tops. Tiamba's playing as a 4-man, and genuinely the way they weather the storm here versus Aurora, they have a place to play inside the circle going forward. More about dealing with the couple of players inside that shack right there, and it's hard to line up those nades past the side. Always have that angle of Doc to worry about. He is so critical to his other 2 teammates living.
Schweppes with a bit of a forward scout play in the buggy, reading onto it. QZZ was knocked towards the backside. Thing is, though, they've been here for so long and they've invested so many nades, so many bullets that they're starting to run dry and can't actually push out to get themselves anything. Availability of crates becoming an all-time premium. The longer this goes on, the worse it gets for Tiamba.
Yeah, they needed a break, honestly, and that break was going to come in, be able to get those shots, get those nades over towards Aurora. Arena making a massive swing. Mormon's got 5 nades to play around with too. QZZ finds shots over towards Vitality. They are trying to stop 2 teams from squeezing them together. But they will. This is a good play. This is actually a good play. It's a desperation play, but it's
Vitality.
needed for Tiamba right now.
Tiamba Vitality. Oh, Archer.
Last step alive. Where's the rest of the team? QZZ moves up. How is Razak living this?
Oh, this is unbelievable. Razak raising hell amidst the chaos as he stands strong to punish back. Vitality looked like it was all said and done, but they pop off on that one against Tiamba's clash in, knowing they needed to shut them down to get themselves any sort of ammunition, any kind of supplies to play on. And it does not work how they wanted.
Wild stuff.
The Vitality
The arena now. Send some nades in. Joel's the first to fall off the back of that. They have just played this game nice and slow from that northern side, trying not to get too involved in things. They've been saving up these nades for that end game. Mormon will move in and just completely clean them out. This guy's been unbelievable with the S12K today.
Finishes off the stragglers. Slowly but surely, the team's exit stage left and the final fight begins to have itself set up. Furia coming back in with some of that firepower we had seen prior. Good damage onto E-Arena. It's Tony K that's knocked behind the hard cover. Joker looks to wrap over to see if he can save his mate.
E-Arena versus Furia.
Situation. 3 versus 4 right now. Schweppes warding off Ayala.
Still coming out strong. He wants more on the game, and they are delivering. Ego's down, big player on the squad. Now it's time for the likes of Ayala as well as Chief to stand up tall. E-Arena, they saved all their potential up for that late game, though. We saw how much ammo they still had more, how many smokes they still had remaining. His team basically played this one out for the chicken dinner.
Furia
unless they get the chicken dinner on this one. The amount they saved up, 5 nades still in the hand of Schweppes. Getting a second place is nice though, but yeah, it's this open ground, disgusting to work with. Furia is lining up for a big old bombardment from E-Arena in the near future though.
Go down, man. It's kind of so brutal because he really has been this pop-off player for the team. Is that going to be enough of a deficit to really make this one uncomfortable?
Igor, he's just providing all the information back all the time.
Good I need it.
Chief moves up over towards the loot crate. The nade has to be invested. Oh man, don't use that on that. Yeah, good. I was thinking that he was going to send it over towards Igor's. But he is just calling every single time they pull the pin on this one. When to move and when not to. Finally the play zone takes him out and Fury is blind again.
You lose your eyes in the back line and have to rely on your gun skill now. A standoff between these two teams with open space in front of them, waiting to be crunched forth. Silence with the big guns in the back line, ready to spray. A lot of nades invested, dashing them in towards the middle here.
I mean, they're mega blind. I mean, they can't have moved that far. Unless Igor's giving back the worst information in the world, but... Yeah, I mean, for Fury, I think there's a little bit of scaredness of that front line being aggressed upon. Schweppes pulls the nades. We are playing battleships right now. Grenade to E5. You missed by a mile.
Just dashing them out. Start forest fire out.
3v3.
Right now, be the best opportunity for them. That one actually hits.
He's
There you
happy
go.
to drive into it though. Okay.
Assist.
I mean, I think we could just wait on these nades. There's plenty of time to wait on this one. E-Arena can play off the back of the tree in the near future. Ayala's just going to swing round.
അയ്യോ പോയിട്ടടുത്ത്.
Not how I expected the first domino to fall, but that's Ayala going in and opening things up with an advantage for E-Arena.
This is PMWC here at EWC. There's been an end game. It has been an end game. Igor's confused everyone. Silence now. Trying to be as quiet as possible. Decent Molotovs, these ones actually. Trying to catch them on the rotate out. MG3 could make all the difference. Joker's about to send this nade back into the blue.
A little bit of a pre-fire. Problem is the info goes both ways. Silence got a good read of what angle they're actually playing from now.
Oof. He actually did.
Oh, okay. Chief with a peek up. There you go. Follow up off the back of it. Let's see if they can deal some damage. Silence peeks up. Warning shots out. Low on health. Got about half left to play with. Runs in towards the tree. He's got the shotty in his hands now. Yeah, all right. It's all kicking off here. They're going to be able to find it through in the end. E-Arena do clutch on. A bit of a topsy-turvy one, but a chicken dinner they'll still be proud of.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you, really? Good game from E-Arena. I think that the game plan was great. I think everyone confused one another right at the end. Igor's, as he went down, I think he might have thrown out some information that was maybe less than useful. Unfortunate stuff. To be fair, whilst he was still alive, they had a real good pinpoint on what E-Arena was doing. So I am joking. It's a joke, guys. I do think Igor's a great player. But yeah, still a weird endgame.
Yeah, it was a lot of utility investment with not too much information. Kind of felt like it was, we don't want to push, so we're just going to lob everything.
Yeah.
And then have that respectful gunfight once we get in your
exactly.
face.
Because I do think that for E-Arena, they just wait a little bit longer, play up towards the tree line. With the amount of nades they had, they could have blanketed the entire thing. But even then, they were like bouncing them out into the blues. It's a little strange. And you're right. I also did not expect that to be the first domino to fall, which was Ayala just getting mega impatient.
After all that waiting, it was kind of really like a curveball just came in. Swift gut punch. Didn't expect that.
I know they're behind. I'm just going to go for it. All right. Confirmed. That's where they are. You're dead, Ayala. That's where they are, lads.
Yeah, I got the info.
Okay.
Got the info.
Info game. Sick of playing battleships. But yeah, overall, I think if we look a little bit prior into that game, I think Aurora, the way they set themselves up, not bad, but there was a couple moments where it got real hectic. I think a lot of teams made it far into that end game. Tiamba play out that radio tower really, really well. Even I think Tiamba's decision-making does require bringing up a little bit. The fact that they decided to push over towards Vitality in that moment, the play almost works, but the speed at which they do it, like we're getting crunched right now, we have to just fly over towards this team and take them out. They have no qualms about just fully going for it. I really like that, and I think that that's the type of playstyle that's going to win you games more often than it loses them.
No, absolutely. I think, again, that was one where it was like Razak just kind of popped off on the hold.
Yes.
Honestly, it was better play from him than it was bad play from them. He just popped off on a solo mission where it's like, oh, fair play. You've actually kind of owned us there.
Yeah.
But what the play was meant to do was great. They needed ammo, they needed supplies, and they went for it. So
absolutely.
It was a head-on call.
It was the right thing to do. And the right thing for us to do right now is to go for a little moment with the boys over on the stage. And we'll be back real soon.
Powers here at PMWC 26, joined by John Allen, Kalaris and Neptura, and we're playing a round of Hot Drop Dance.
Ooh, we're going to be getting stuck into the board, hopefully. Maybe not for some. Some are having a bit of trouble during practice, but we're going to be taking some shots at the board. The person with the least score is going to have to give their hot take, so let's jump into it. You guys, I think you two have to go first.
I think we get Nep up there first. Let's get Nep's in a prime position for this. I feel like I'm in the danger zone, but let's see.
Get ready to dodge.
Oh, it's your best one. Yeah, that's
it's
unreal.
on the board.
Thank you very much.
Shuffle up.
Thursday.
And Kilaris up to the back. Oh, okay, all right.
This is good. This is good. There you go, James. There you go.
Shuffle in.
Thank you. Don't hit me, please. Oh, it's a 17. Currently, Neptune last with 6.
No way. Oh, ooh, a double 17.
It's a triple 17.
It's a triple one, I don't know.
That means Neptura is last.
Are
There
you
go.
serious?
Yep. What's your hot take, Neptura?
My hot take is that the Uzi is a bad weapon and shouldn't be played.
There you go.
That's it. Wait.
This one was Neptura.
That one was mine.
bullseye. No, it's in 25.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's you.
Well, she's already done a hot take now, so.
You did that on purpose.
No, I didn't do anything. All right, here. Go on.
John starting us off. Let's see. Oh, hey.
A 5.
It's
Not
in.
bad.
That's all that matters, really.
It's on the board.
Here we go.
I haven't missed.
Kilaris now. Forearm strength. It's good. It's good.
Ooh. That could be a treble.
That's nice.
Get out
There
the
you go.
danger zone. The splash zone's coming for you, Kale.
Good maths.
Whoa. Oh, that's a triple.
Okay.
Triple 3.
God. All right, here you go, mate. Take this.
I'm pretty sure it's currently the lowest. Wait, no, it's not.
I'm
John's
on a
the
5.
lowest. Yes, John's the lowest.
Or is that a 2? It's a 5, I think.
It's a 5.
Oh, and that's a 2.
That is a 2.
I've been saved by the upside down
It's true.
version of my own
Jackie,
number.
it's your turn.
There you go.
Okay. Hot take. Dino Park and Vikendi, infinitely better than Ronda. I miss it. Bring it back.
Oh, okay.
All right, considering I actually lost the first round, I should probably do a hot take because I cheated you out of it. I'm so sorry. Tiamba will not win PMWC despite looking really good.
I feel like I've got to follow in with a hot take as well.
Oh, okay.
I feel like over-reliance on ARs, nonsense. I want DMRs in, give the players a little bit more expression in the secondary slot, you know? Those submachine guns, something else popping in. Give a little bit more individuality. That's what I want to see.
I like it.
Don't give me this mic. You know what I want? I want all of your opinions from the viewers at home. You in the chat. Tell us what you think. Let us know right here, right now. What are your controversial takes?
നല്ല പാട്ട് വിന്നർ വിന്നർ ചിക്കൻ ഡിന്നർ കൊള്ളാലോ പാട്ട് നല്ല പാട്ട്
If I'm not mistaken, Neptura, I think you actually won at darts. And I think you got that chicken dinner.
I did.
You were lied to, but
Very mad.
in this last game, E-Arena wasn't lied to, Max, because E-Arena came out with the win.
I never know how to react to an E-Arena win now since that Rondo 39-pointer. I'm like, okay, that's great. That's a cool win. But what's next? No, it genuinely was a good game. It was very open-ended finish between Furia and E-Arena. I think it was kind of even-Steven until eventually Ayala got a little bit overly aggressive on that push, and he gave the man advantage, and E-Arena using every resource they had available to get that win. Good to see, but again, I need to see that continue in your next coming matches.
Take it away, Lace. I know you've been wanting to talk about this team for a minute.
Hey, Arlo, I am revoking your driver's license because I was waiting for the Furia drive by Max. E-Arena, obviously, they deserved that win because of Furia and their driving and not taking that position early on. I mean, I liked the way that they sort of held out E-Arena early on in the map. They had Silence kind of scouting Vitality's movements right down at the south side. So this was such a better play from them. They're actually defending and looking where other teams are sort of pushing into that position. They had such a strong split hold. Obviously, a little bit of tunnel vision coming out of some of the players there, and then I don't know what the vehicle situation was, and you could hear me screaming in the back, he's like catching nades with the vehicle as well, and I'm like, what plan is this? They had such a strong position after getting like
this one.
After moving their way into zone on the rotation on the southern side, Max.
Look,
I'll give you my capture. I'm really upset.
I know what happened, actually. I was talking tonight. I saw him as we were leaving the talent room, and I asked him, like, what was the play with Ayala? And he said the idea for Ayala was to get an off angle on the team and actually catch them from behind. But then he saw two players and he got scared. And that's the thing is, right, lack of information will make you do these kind of mistakes. So it could have been a good idea, and catching nades didn't work out. It could have been great, but unfortunately, two-player setup was exactly what E-Arena needed in case of those kind of pushes coming their way.
That was just a big, something I like to call, what the Furia? WTF, because that's exactly what ended up happening with that one. I've been working on that one all day, especially with the way that they were playing earlier. There was a squad, though, that was able to put up a good amount of eliminations, and it was none other than Aurora. Aurora, once again, Neptura being able to back it up with the limbs, even though they wasted a lot of utility with Tiamba.
They did wait. It was a big old red zone, and it was fairly unnecessary. However, it does get you those points, right? And it's been really nice to see them actually, because I think in the group stage, right, we saw them just doing just enough to get into the top 5, just enough to get to where they wanted to be. Now we're seeing true Aurora here. Now we're seeing the team that we're used to seeing, and I'm really enjoying that. I think they've actually played a lot better, right? They're very even. They're not splitting. Doc's not doing his thing. He's staying with his team, and Rifus, Enzio, we've seen some really cool off angles from them, so very happy with them.
And something that I enjoy seeing there, especially out of that graphic, Max, is Top being able to bounce back. Remember, earlier in the previous match before this one, Top was on top of the bridge. It didn't end up working out for him, but 4 elims out of him, a person that has been an MVP before on an international finals, that's exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, really happy. I mean, the best way to describe it is what you said, Niptra. They became a red zone at that moment in that game, and I love the way that any team would get in contention of their zone, they would start just nading them to hell and back. So Aurora playing it really well. I am still not sold though on their performances so far. I feel like there's still a lack of fragging power that they used to have in the past. Doc is underperforming quite significantly. So Top, GG's, I'm loving it. Zol too had some great moments, especially in that rondo. But Doc, he's still sleeping right now. He needs to wake up.
Wake up, Doc. Wake up. Just make sure you don't start going away from your team, because that's when things ends up falling apart for Aurora. But Aurora, honestly, 36 points, currently tied. But the tiebreaker does go to E-Arena with that win that they ended up getting. Tiamba, though. Tiamba right now, the aggressiveness that we've been seeing out of this team, if you want to give the mic to Lace, they're currently putting up those numbers, Lace, because 27 eliminations for that squad and only 4 placement points.
Yeah, I see that. This is what I'm saying. They're finding those fights. They're gathering those eliminations, finding a nice power play position, but then unfortunately losing it, which is where we see the decline in placement points. But obviously this is still a really good trend for them, especially coming out of survivals into this sort of scenario, and to have that amount of points and that sort of trajectory is incredibly good for them. But of course, we got to bring it back to kind of the smash rule and the way that you have to gather these eliminations. It's fine. It's good to do it, obviously, today, but then we got to see more of those placement points and those wins out of them to be able to take more than that.
100%. And another team that's currently doing that, Max, is none other than Nongshim. And I know you weren't quite happy with what Nongshim, especially Human, was doing that last game.
Yeah, initially I love the way they initiate the fight onto, I think it was Orangutan in that gas station. I'm like, okay, you've got some solid off angles, I like it, they're pushing the fight. But the thing is about off angles, they lose effectiveness the longer the fight goes on. And I think it was one of the play on the Harry Potter tower, he had a great line of sight, but eventually Orangutan know you have that line of sight, so they're not going to peek you that aggressively. That would be the prime time for them to regroup, fully commit to the fight and send it, and hopefully come out on top. But they're very slow to respond to these moments, and I'm very upset with their opening performances so far.
Yeah, one team talking about aggressive, talking about people committing to a fight. We saw Nigma Galaxy and Ida finally commit to that hot drop, and if I'm being completely honest, I don't want to see it. I don't care about it. Leave that ego to some other time, because right now it's going to be hurting those two teams.
Yeah, it is, and we did see Fourth Thrives take advantage of what's been going on there, right? Just dropping in on them, trying to get a few limbs, and then move back to their position. They were trying to punish that as much as possible, just because it's kind of silly. In the finals, maybe day one you kind of get away with it, but keep on doing it. It's not going to work out. Fourth Thrives knew that, and you know, they might not be the only team to take advantage of that. If the playing path's a little funny, if that keeps happening, other teams might just third party that.
Yeah, they will end up third partying that. We saw there towards the bottom of the leaderboard as well. Godlike, OG currently not being able to put up those numbers. Those are two teams that are looking to bounce back. But right now, we are halfway through that mark. Lace, any team that has surprised you so far?
I would just like to say that, like, I'm very proud of you, Furia. You know, I know I was a little bit mad in that situation, and I was surprised about you in the first couple of games, and I just want to make it note that that was a much better performance. But still, I'm taking a driver's license away.
That was a good performance. Next time you ever take my mic, Lace, this big old chicken is going to be hitting your head once again. But as we're getting ready here for match 4, let's send it over to none other than Barney and Luti.
Luti, yeah, you know how last week we were talking about how to win PMWC?
Oh, yeah, the big secret I told everyone.
You gave everyone some incredible insight for those of you at home that were listening. Teams were listening as well. Aurora Gaming, Tiamba, the Arena, they're playing very well at the moment.
Indeed.
But let's like break it down into the finer details, okay?
Especially,
so I want to ask you a little bit more, okay? So like, what's the best map to like capitalize on points?
I mean, there is different teams with different play styles, so it depends.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Okay, it depends, yeah. How about like vehicles for like late rotations, getting into a good position? What's the best vehicle to use?
The horse, the buggy, and so different maps, so it depends.
It depends.
Yeah, as well.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Utility, okay, so like end of game, you know, smokes, nades, you know, medical packs, bandages. What's the best thing to have in your arsenal?
I mean, depending your situation with the cycle, so I will answer, it depends.
It depends.
Yeah.
Okay. Luti.
It's not that easy, you know?
Luti. What's the best gun in the game?
I mean,
let me guess. It depends. Sacre bleu.
No, Barney. Everyone knows it's a P90. No, depends. Okay, back to you, casters. I hope you're ready. It depends.
And yeah, he's right. The V90 is where it's at, but we are here live in the finals, getting ready for the last 3 matches.
Absolutely. We have got a great day unfolding before us. We've had some real step-ups from a lot of teams coming on through, some great rotations, some insertions, some side swipes into those zones. That S2G hovercraft double roll-up, that was looking pretty, but we're going to be sending ourselves once again over to Erangel to find ourselves one more chicken dinner.
Let's see who's
Final
gonna get
Erangel.
it. Yeah, I mean, this is it, the last Erangel of the day, and it's time to put up some serious points. I mean, we're still super early in this tournament, but we're already starting to see some teams, right, make some things happen. I was able to talk to one player in particular as we were getting into this game. I happened to see S-Power from Godlike. You know, the hair is hard to miss. I went up to the man and said, hey, you know what, give me 3 words before we get into this next match. And he said, the domination begins.
Ooh, using a whole word on that is bold. That's the sort of confidence that you want to see coming through. For Godlike, they do want to try and push a little bit further up those tables, try and get in the competition for those top spots. Of course, having only seen 3 matches, we are still in a fairly uncertain situation, in a state of flux when it comes to those tables. Obviously, some performances standing out more than others, but it's definitely still achievable because of the fact that we have got an 18 match set, right? We've been playing so far on 12 match sets time and time again, but moving over to that expanded 3-day approach, that 18 set, that's where consistency really comes into play. So it's teams that are able to earn 6, 7, 8 points on those games that are going to be the teams that will take those top spots, those podium positions.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, this is It's all about putting up as many points as you can early on, and consistency is going to be the king here at the end of the day. I mean, we saw in the group stage, right, E-Arena, 39 points in one single game, and they weren't even able to make it. I mean, straight to the finals. They had to deal with the survival stage, and let's be honest, I mean, luckily we're able to get here, right? So, I mean, but they're crushing it now. They did a great job in that last game, right? And so they're off to a strong start. Let's just see if they're able to keep that pedal to the metal. Aurora starting off strong is really good because historically, they've always taken a long time, right, to really get warmed up. But for them to put some points on the board early just goes to show that come finals time, they're adjusting their strategies and it's working out for them.
Maybe able to finally claim a title spot, you know, that's what they're going to be looking for. Plenty of other teams looking to do so as well. I know there's plenty of fans in the crowd for Furia who are there, really giving them their backing, which has been nice to see. Hopefully they can keep up the pace towards the top side as well. But yeah, I mean, there is so much on the line. That trophy, a threat to so many, but a promise to only one of our teams.
Man, one of the sickest trophies you could put on your shelf. I love every single year I see it. I'm like, oh, you gotta get one. And this is what these teams have been hunting for. They've been working all year long to get here. And we can tell the teams that have prepped, and it's every single one of them. It's wild to see all these names, and the level of competition has never been so even, in my opinion, right? I mean, there is squads all across the board. They get a good couple zones, good couple situations. They're not messing around. They're going to take full advantage of it here. You talked about Furia, right? I think it's only a matter of time before we see them get a chicken dinner. We got to see some keys a little earlier. We saw that Team Vitality key, Tianba, 2 monster squads as well. So it's just really about that consistently, like you talked about. But you know what? We're in the final Erangel of the day, John. One thing that stands out to me, without a shadow of a doubt, is Pachinki, right? What is going on there? That last game has to mean that something's got to switch up, right?
It has to. Something definitely has to change. For me, I feel like Enigma Galaxy, they kind of, well, certainly we know how consistently Ralph will just sacrifice tournaments to hold on to Pachinki. So for me, I'm just unsure as to why Ida made the decision to stick to that drop spot. There are obviously other opportunities, and it's sort of, it reads ego to me. It reads ego that they aren't disengaging. I liked 4 Thrive's adjustment. They were able to get in. They were able to get, I think, 2 eliminations right at the start of the match. Really, really nice stuff from that very peer position that they normally drop around. They were able to move on up. They exploited that situation. But I think that the second good decision that 4 Thrives made in that scenario was not to hunt down Ralph, right? Because he's a solo, he's hiding in a corner, you don't know exactly where he is. You disengage, you don't go hunting, because a solo in a corner in Pachinki, you could lose a player to that very, very easily. So I liked their withdrawal there coming on through. The other side of a hot drop in Pachinki that is a massive factor, certainly for later into the mid and later game, is the fact that in a hot drop, you don't get that loot truck, and you can't get it double either, which means that it went over to Vitality during that last match. It goes over to other teams who just sit on that northwest side. It's also an incredibly clear indicator that a hot drop is happening to a team out there, so they can grab that one and send on in to maybe pick up the pieces.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the highlights here before we get started, as these teams are going to get locked and loaded here in just a second here, folks. But yeah, you know, when we go back to that hot drop, it's wild to see. I've been kind of watching these two teams talk to each other all along here in Paris. And I'd see, you know, Enigma Galaxy players walk by Ida players and kind of have some exchanging of words. And I was hoping they would kind of get this settled before the finals, because I think it's just a devastating loss for this to continue here for both of them. And in the last game, it showed, just like, because guess what? 4 Thrives. They came to party right after. They were like, oh, you know what? There's a silly fight happening in Pachinki. We'll take those eliminations, and they got some of them, right? So I think now that you have 4 Thrives, especially now on the hunt for this, it's got to make, you know, Ida, and Enigma Galaxy have to start second thinking, I think, some things. But at the end of the day, like you said it, you know, for those of you guys that don't know Ralph's true name, it's Ralph Pachinki Sanchez Montero III. Okay. Pachinki is in the name, right? And he will refuse to let it go. And I mean, they've dominated it, right? We saw them be able to take out Ida, but now that you have 4 Thrives coming into play, and it's got to make you second guess things.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that dropping in Pachinki is in Ralph's will somewhere.
Yeah.
For when he eventually, hopefully, in the very far future. But if he keeps dropping in Pachinki in-game, he's certainly not going to have a long life expectancy. Aurora Gaming able to do the business, but we are going to head to a quick video whilst we get this lobby ready to rock for our last Pachinki today.
안녕하세요. 저는 농심 레드포스의 엑지입니다. 여기는 현빈, 소이지, TG입니다.
프로 선수로서 경쟁하는 일은 항상 힘든 일입니다.
하지만 이런 플레이 라운지에 오게 되면 즐거운 게 되게 많죠. 저희가 이 플레이 라운지에 왔기 때문에 이 플레이 라운지에 있는 것들을 즐겨보겠습니다. 가시죠.
이 공간은 협력 공간입니다. 대회 측과 소통하거나 협력해야 될 일이 있으면 이곳에서 해결하실 수 있습니다.
EWC 공간에 있는 한 공간 중인 탁구장이 있는데 저희가 한번 재밌게 해보도록 하겠습니다. 오! 연습반이네 완전.
어이씨 뭐야? 여기는 여러 가지 즐길 것이 있는데요. 저희가 한번 다 체험해 보도록 하겠습니다.
대회를 할 때면 항상 배고플 때가 있는데 EWC에서 제공해주는 음식이 있는데 그 품질이 아주 좋고 최고급이라고 해서 저희가 한번 먹으러 와봤습니다.
아 배고프다 빨리 가자.
Welcome back to the Hot Drop Watch here as we await the fate of Pachinki. It is still undetermined as to who is going to last the longest in that location, and if we may have a 4th, a 5th, or maybe even more teams. Perhaps everybody is going to Pachinki. It's going to be a 64-player brawl in the center of the map.
You know what? I'm in. I want to see that action. That would be absolutely insane. I mean, if it was going to be possible, now would be the time because it's the last one of the day. But you know what? It's time to see what exactly is going to happen as we get into the map. Final Erangel of day 1 of the finals. Now let's see who's going to be able to put some serious points on the board before we get into the sandy deserts of Miramar.
I mean, I'll take non-serious points at this stage. Of course, every single team would as well. Plane path on the west side of the mainland here, coming through from North George to the west point of Sosnovka military base. And it will be going fairly close to Pachinki, so we're not going to be denied it by the plane path. Hora out early over towards Saverny. Tiamba over into North George. I'm keeping an eye out to see if any of our teams on the hot drop are going somewhere else, but I'm really not holding my breath.
I kind of am here. You know what? I will say, yeah, you can see already. Look at that. Looks like we're going to see another hot drop in Pachinki as Ida and Enigma Galaxy are headed in that direction.
Uh-oh.
Very, very interesting. I will say, though, we got to give massive props to Enigma Galaxy for being so high up on the leaderboards, considering that they've been dealing with this all day long here. I mean, they're in 4th place, 30 points. That's pretty insane.
Sure, I mean, they were able to take a chicken dinner towards the start of the day, right? So they do have a little bit of a foundation to try and do this with, but they could be so much further ahead without this situation. It looks like we're not going to see a 4th Thrives flex out. Instead, S2G are the closest by on the southwest side. Nongshim Red Force, who have yet to touch the floor of their parachute, could potentially also flex in from the southeast side, but I feel like S2G are the most likely right now to cause problems for Ida. Enigma Galaxy on the north side of Pachinki, they're split right now, but you can see Rita on that off angle could be quite important. Ralph seems like they know he's in this building, but the nade won't connect.
Yeah, that was a warning nade for sure. You can see Satan up on the roof here, on this ledge, trying to get a little bit of information. He knows exactly where Rita is. It's a big stalemate, though. This is the hard part about these hot drops. And I can hear it. That loot truck is now driving on by. The precious loot. Satan's like, that should have been ours. I want it. No. Oh, Lord gets knocked. And did he get thirsted? No, he actually gets beat up pretty bad. Satan, through the door. What a clutch knock for this team.
Able to take out the off angle there, and Ida are going to really struggle to get back to this one. It's across the road, and I don't think you can break past that. The res, though, in the meantime, is going to be there, and because it's so early in the game, it's so much less likely that you've got the nades on side to just completely suppress that res position, which allows Nigma Galaxy to go back to 4 and leaves Ida stranded on 3. Rita getting knocked there is the most crucial part of that fight, Jukes.
Man, that was an insane shot there from Satan. I mean, that's that game sense, guys. Shooting right through the door. He knew he was there, and he makes the play for his team. It's one of those micro plays, right? That when you make that kind of play, it just changes the entire situation for your squad. And now, because of that, Nigma Galaxy up ahead against Ida.
They still have to get a little bit more pace to it, though, and Ida are retreating now right to the southeast point of Pachinki. They've read that immediately Satan can move out, get this position on the off angle that they were previously in control of. The fact that they're aware of that is good, but you're just going to keep losing players. At this stage, I feel like Nigma Galaxy definitely have had a better result so far in this Pachinki hot drop. They were very ready for it. As you said, they will have known, they will have been aware that this is unfurled.
Yeah, and what are you going to do if you're Ida at this point? I mean, look where they're at on the leaderboards. I mean, this is crazy. 16th place, only 2 points so far. If I'm their coach, anybody that is in the leadership of this team, I'm like, give it up, guys. We lost. I mean, I get it, right? Day one, you're going to battle it out with Nigma Galaxy to see if you could conquer this location, but it's an L. Like, you got to at some point realize that this is not going to work for us. If we want to be able to do well in this tournament, I mean, Erangel is the majority of the maps we're going to be playing here. We cannot afford to continue doing this.
It is pretty devastating. They have only lost one player this time around, but the loot is going to be fairly thin on the ground. The vehicle condition, like, I don't know, man. It's really cutting the legs out from underneath themselves.
It's terrible. I mean, you're down a player, you don't get the loot truck, you don't get any, you're under looted at this point. I mean, it's just a loss overall, and where they stand on the leaderboards is a pure reflection of that. So, yeah, you know, I always say that when it comes to these kind of hot drops or these situations in general, I really do think these need to be settled in rehearsals, you know, in the pre-matches, where it's like, hey, you know what, guys? Have a little handshake agreement. We're going to drop in Pachinki this game. Whoever wins it, gets it, you know? Fair enough.
Yeah, well, I don't think that would ever happen, but yeah, I mean, I kind of understand. It is a question, right, that is rooted in a lot more, I think, subjective opinion for a lot of people. Sure. Because you have that question of, if we give up our drop spot, are we just going to be easily pushed around in the future, right? Like, are you trying to do that sort of thing? I mean, it's like negotiating contracts, negotiating business there. It is one strategy is to just be like, okay, we'll go somewhere else. We'll go somewhere else. But you can hold your nerve. And if you guys want to be the best, then you guys need to hold your nerve, and you can look good doing it using the Naruto skins here. Make sure you're heading into game, get that character set, get that Ninetales Fury AUG skin, get that one developing as well, because you can get some variations on that bad boy.
Yeah, you want to be maxing that bad boy out and looking real good. As you know, Tiambas have been looking really good today. They're in 4th place, 31 points. Milu, man, the way he started off that Rondo match was just crazy. Wild. I mean, this man has been performing all tournament long for his squad. He had, for sure, right, the play of the tournament. That 1v4 earlier in the group stage was so sick. Yeah. And then come finals time, the way he started out, they are looking really good.
Absolutely. They are currently in 4th place right now. Looking to try and keep themselves within striking distance of that 1st place spot, Godlike. Would love to try and join them, but they are a little bit more destitute on that points front, with only 8 towards the bottom of those tables. Another circle heading up towards the north side, split by that central river. Open ground south of Severny being
covered actually mostly by Aura, who have a wide spread around the river, are causing a lot of problems. I'm interested to see how many teams look to head east of Yasnaya. Furia likely going to do so. Could potentially see that from teams who are still on the military island, by the way, Aurora and Al-Ula. And maybe we'll see it from one of the two teams who are still in Pochinki too, because, well, it looks like either looking to push back in and re-engage. Enigma Galaxy have been working the ground in the meantime, snaffling up all that loot and checking every corner. Or at least I hope they are.
Yeah, they better be, that's for sure. I mean, you can definitely tell they're keeping their head on a swivel here. They got to know that Ida's around here somewhere. They're just clearing building by building with Satan on the other side, rocking a 3-1 split. Got to be careful, though. One nade could be dangerous. Oh, the shots ring on out, and the knock on to Coops is huge.
He's got another nade as well. Coops is in danger here. Ralph does need to get some healing done before he can go for that revive, but he should be okay to do it. You can't step forwards and go for the cross. And again, Satan is on that off angle. Just about misses Swain on the cross, but he should be able to call that one out. Should have spotted it. Lord is already cooking a nade. He knows he's in the building now. Launches it forwards and he takes it down. Beautiful communication.
The plays from Enigma Galaxy in Pochinki are just insane. How do they do these wild bounce back shots, nades, that just turn the fight in their direction? This just goes to show you, when you know this side of the map like the back of your hand, it's gonna pay dividends.
In the meantime, Nongshim Red Force and Fourth Rise are going head to head. And at the moment, it looks like Fourth Rise are in the driver's seat. This is out to the east side of Potato Hill, but they are grabbing a couple of flushes on board as well. As we keep going with this hot drop though. Yeah, Nongshim Red Force, they're going to try and get out, just leave a solo survivor coming on through. And another knock goes on in. This is Enigma Galaxy sweeping it under the rug. They're putting this hot drop to bed. It cannot come back tomorrow. It would be a terrible idea.
I can't stress how difficult this is to do, right? To be able to deal with this hot drop so frequently and to just execute in this perfect fashion. I mean, not losing a single player, getting those four points early on is just insane.
There was a hard north shift on the circle in the meantime. We are watching all of this hot drop unfold, but it is pushing teams now north very, very quickly, which is causing conflict around the crossings as Coops finds the final player on Ida. And down they go. All four players from Enigma Galaxy are there, and no third party came on through as well. Now we're going to jump over towards the teams that are looking to put pressure on up towards the north side. We talked a little bit about Nongshim Red Force losing 3 of their players. Fourth Rise lost 1, but they did manage to get the 3 points for that fight. They are both still south of the river. Ulf Orangutan now on this northern side of Roshok River, and trying to get their foothold to move in towards those shooting range hills, potentially over towards Saverni Way.
Yeah, we've been really focused on that Pochinki fight for so long. This zone is all the way up to the north, like you mentioned. We already got Fudia up there in Saverni, E-Arena over by shooting range right now, taking that Snake Hill position. And now we're gonna see a lot of these teams start make that rotation. Aurora Gaming, oh, the one rock! You gotta hit it for good luck.
That's a map open right there, guaranteed. 100% looking at
Yeah.
No ways.
I think we're gonna go here, guys.
Oh, he's gonna go again? Oh, no. Okay, we're getting a little replay. This is on the Fourth Rise and Nongshim Red Force fight. They'd already lost T24, but the hold from Hazaifa, the angles that he was able to clock, it seems, pretty efficacious on the high ground there. Love to see it. For Fourth Rise. Aurora on their crossing, run into Vitality. Looks like they may have run their last across these bridges. This western hold looking quite good for Vitality, who, for the time being, have been a little bit quieter, I think it's safe to say, than their group stage performances, but they're still very much there. They're still very much present. Well, certainly their presence is being felt by Aurora on this northwest side.
Vitality. Oh, southern shift here, and a big southern shift. This actually might be really good for the side of Enigma Galaxy, as they're going to be mushing in super late here. And are you kidding me? If this zone actually south shifts one more time to Roz, that would be devastating for this lobby. Aurora, I'm trying to figure out, what do you think they're doing here, right? They're over there by North George, splitting up, maybe trying to find some late loot.
Well, I mean, they were being held out by Vitality,
yeah,
right? So
you're
they're just trying to take a turn around the town to maybe allow Vitality to disengage and then maybe re-engage later on, see what they can do with a little bit less pressure from the river crossing on that front. Team Flash over on the east side need to settle their score with Alola to try and get towards the circle, and it is not looking pretty for Alola. They lose a player. Not a good start, but yeah, it would be kind of mental to send all the way down to Rozhok. It'd be great for Nick McGalaxy, right? They're still just on the north side of Pachinki, so yeah, they could just take up that mountain and lickety split, get themselves another chicken dinner. Godlike in the meantime on the hunt in the middle, getting stuff done, getting bits out to Aura, and it seems that they are going to be able to take at least one and get the flush for Godlike.
Mormon, the nade looks good, puts them all the way down to 1 HP. Mormon, pow, pow, pow. That's 12K getting the finish. And look at that. I mean, teammate instantly there with the vehicle to make sure that they can get him over to safety. So Aura going to have to go out pretty early here in this game. Only one single player up, see what he can do later on. But now we're off to the gas station with a Furia. Keeping their eyes on to Team Flash. Win has the P90 and the ghillie suit. So he definitely won that crate drop. He came out absolutely stacked to the teeth and hits the tree for good luck. That is a necessary thing to do here, folks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bold
just a
strategy.
Little tap on the tree. You know,
tap, tap, tap.
Little shout out to Mother Nature there, just saying hi, and then
gotta make sure it's secure.
Yeah, and then proceeding to unleash lead into the hillsides around him. Hopefully. With that P90. Team Flash getting out of dodge from this east side could be tricky. S2G managed to make their way to one of the buildings here that is this lineup from S2G, from Orangutan, from Tianba, and from Ulf. On this lineup, very central on the circle, some very defensible positions, but teams will start to crowd in around them. Vitality and Aurora, this is the re-engage, Dukes.
Here they go, they're battling it again, and it looks like Aurora are on top so far with that knock on a Razak. Here you can see Zol driving around, trying to get some information. Federalis up close and personal, having to run back. Oh, it's Godlike on the other side. Yeah, that's too dangerous. Vitality need to disengage this, as their 6 is not covered, but Razy is driving up close and personal, giving an opportunity for Reesvis to put some shots onto him. And yeah, it's just down to these 2 players left for Aurora. This fight would have definitely went off earlier, but that third party from Godlike bought Aurora Gaming some time.
A little bit, but now they're down to 2. And Vitality do eat a little bit of nade there, not ideal. E-Arena in the meantime trying to find their way in on the north side, but it's not looking super accessible right now. And now seems like they're engaged with the final player from Horror. Sleepy is holding it, but in the meantime a crash. S2G trying to roll across, but Tiamba are holding face against it, and they are not going to let S2G in without a fight. Aurora want to jump in and join the party here. A nade in, that could be brutal there, right under his feet. Is it going to blast him down? But there's an answer, and Reefus falls. A third knock over towards Tiamba, but now everybody has been isolated and evacuated from this fight. Nobody's left to put the pressure on this triple knock.
Are you kidding me? It looked like these guys were fighting in a lake of fire here. QZ in the center of it. And Top could have been there to make that play, but unfortunately, there are too many teams surrounding him, and it stopped that crucial third party.
Oh, another nade from Top, doesn't quite connect there. There is an answering nade, and that is going to back Top off nicely. The run around there, Orangutan maybe missing a beat there, maybe missing a trick, not able to flex out, didn't quite have the angles on it.
Top!
Oh, Top just about behind the concrete there to keep him safe from catch, but they know exactly where he is. He's got 2 smokes. He is slap bang in the middle of the circle though, Jukes, and that might be a little bit of a help until another team rocks up with nowhere to go. They're going to roll right on top of this guy.
Yeah, Top's cooked right now. He's just like, I think I'm just going to lay down right here.
He's on the simmer.
For as long as I possibly can. No standing up for me. It's straight hit the deck time on the side of Top. But hey, you know what? That's good, right? He's got a good position in zone. They're pretty high up on the leaderboard, so if they can just kind of hang on and get some placement points, that'll be good for him. But meanwhile, I mean, Tianba on a tear, 7 eliminations. Fortunate for them, they're able to get everybody back up here, and they're in a solid position in this circle. As we now look on over to Furia, Igor hopping out the vehicle here, getting punished by E-Arena for it.
Oh, it's not going well. It is not going well for Furia. Unfortunate, they're just going to be down to Chief, the other two players down on the hillside. Tiamba, by the way, managed to fend off a triple team crash on their compound, right? They're now on 7 eliminations. They have done phenomenal stuff. It's likely they're going to have to fend off at least one more, but the number of crates around them is going to be ludicrous. They're going to have to try and figure out exactly what they want to put in their backpacks as Flash try to find their way through, thread the needle, but E-Arena are just going to roll it down. Mormon over the top, doesn't even need to ring the doorbell to open that door. And Tops has to turn tail. Turney K sees to it. He's going to get backed off by a third party. I think that might be Orangutan chiming in. And now Tops has to head towards 4th Rise, so nowhere real to go for him. As Hyunbin finally bites the dust, the last player alive for Nongshim Red Force.
E-Arena are putting some good points on the board here. I mean, they're having to really battle it out, holding the edge of that circle, because there's a lot of open field in this zone. And now you're going to see 4th Thrives. 6 eliminations so far. Falak with 2, Zypha with 3.
It's keeping Rozog in.
Oh my, I just saw that circle shift. Are you kidding me? Enigma Galaxy, they'll take that all day long, right? Hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to get a little reward for those crazy hot drop efforts, and they'll definitely take that one to the bank.
Yeah, that's going to be friendly for them for the time being. For them, I feel like a good strategy is to start scouting the other side of the river now, though. I feel like you need to get someone in fast. The difficulty, of course, is that 4 Thrives, and now Vitality is starting to move in, and they don't have an outpost there. Move over to the bridge, a little bit out of the zone.
Yeah.
I feel like somehow you've got to find a coastal position on that riverbank. And if you hold towards the warehouse, towards the triple stack, it's just going to be a bleed out for Enigma Galaxy. The placements aren't really going to be enough. Yeah, I want a little bit more forward thinking there as Aurora lose their final player. Top could not stay in for too much longer. 4 Thrives though, getting crashed on.
Here they go, E-Arena not messing around here, just full sending it, non-stop aggression from this team. And it's been paying off so far, and that's why you can see them on top. Mormon hopping on out, trying to hit that flick shot onto Zypha. Zypha's really hurt here. Great teamwork though from E-Arena, picking apart the likes of 4 Thrives.
Zypha has been so difficult to deal with, but E-Arena the only team to be able to take him down, and it took at least 3 of them. Turney K goes down with him, but 10 eliminations now for E-Arena. Very possible to get this res. This is the chance though for Enigma Galaxy to move across, and look at Ralph, he's getting over. Coops is looking to join him. This is the perfect opportunity whilst these teams on the east are preoccupied. A little bit slow to get the third party, but it is a good first step. I like what they've been able to do there. We've seen counterpointed river cross positions in 2-2 splits work well in the past. I'm hoping they can leverage that here. I'm a little bit disappointed in Orangutan on the north side. I feel like they could have poked their noses into that fight and third partied it as well. Moved a little bit further out to the east, been fairly safe from Tiamba and gotten stuck in there, but they hold inside. And I don't think it was going to be enough.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed here in the EWC is the quickness these teams are ready to third party and take those opportunities. And it's just kind of surprising to see OG just kind of hold back there for a second. Enigma Galaxy, just due to the terrain, weren't able to even think about getting that third party. But because of that fight, it opened the door for them to be able to at least make that safe rotation and get that 2-2 split going that you were talking about. So let's see how they're able to capitalize onto it, though. As now is the calm before the storm. We are in stage number 5. All these teams just planning it out, trying to figure out, okay, if the zone goes over here, we're going to have to make these plays. If the zone stays on us, then GG, baby. We just shoot at everything in sight.
Yeah, we're going to get the next zone unveiling itself in the next 20 seconds or so. Godlike try and keep their ridgeline in play. This is a replay of the roll-up. Okay, this is when E-Arena crashed on towards 4 Thrives. Falak. Yeah, went down very quickly there to Joker. Not much you can do about that. When the flying vehicle launches over the top, the bunny rabbits bound on into your sightlines. He wasn't ready for it, which is kind of unfortunate. Next circle, though, comes in Jukes, and it will head over to the west. So I think the Galaxy do have to get on the road. Ulf fairly happy in their compound, but Godlike are putting pressure on.
Yeah, Godlike. Remember, as Power said, the domination starts now. Let's see if they can actually make that thing, though, as they got Ulf right behind them. They're super pinched, making it very difficult for them to make a play from their position. And now you can see Scarface getting up close and personal. As Power trying to smoke some things out, buy his teams some time. It's going to be up to him and Admino, though, as they are just trying to hold this spot Unfortunately for them, though, it's outside of circle. Yeah, so now Ulf are in a perfect position to gate cardi this. Oh, nice shots, though, from Admino. But unfortunately, those smokes are perfectly put, and he's not able to get the thirst.
The nade is up high, doesn't quite go the distance. It went completely out of his viewing angle there. If it had been just a little bit further, that could have been a straight knock there. S-Power gets across. Managed to get some healing started as well, but that blue zone pressure is coming through. We're looking at OG and E-Arena, as well as Nigma Galaxy, also having to make moves in the meantime, Dukes. And move in from this east edge. Tiamba are gonna have to move. There is a lot of teams that have to make some difficult decisions now, and OG are making it right now. They're gonna roll straight on forwards, try and get dead center here and contest with Nigma Galaxy on the coastline into Vitality sightlines as well. They drop down, and 3 of them managed to get across, not unscathed, but alive.
Great IQ of a rotation. They knew that one little plateau was right there. They were able to head straight towards it. They get their safe. Coops in trouble. The closest nade, he's done. Oh, able to get the heal off, and now get some shots downrange. Headshot onto Mormon. Joker right there next to him, though. Can Coops get to safety? No, he gets knocked, and E-Arena are going to continue to apply that pressure, getting that thirst immediately there onto Coops. At Nigma Galaxy just getting picked apart. That 2-2 split not working out.
That was insane for Coops to be able to do so much damage on that angle. He really held Ralph in the game there, and are leaving Nigma Galaxy on 3. Orangutan lost players on the center as well. They are now down to just 2 as E-Arena make the same mad dash. The mad crash against Tianbao will not work out for them, and E-Arena evaporated.
The arena evaporated, and they end up feeding the beast that is Tiamba. They did put some good points on the board for them, and I love to see that aggression. Let's see if Tiamba, though, can put even some more points and get this chicken dinner. They already have 10 eliminations. They're looking pretty unstoppable. S-Power forced to hit the deck. Oh, now with those sight lines just punishing them. I mean, they have this position locked down.
You needed Admino to be on an angle there to suppress Ulf, but no, not quite there, not quite ready, didn't have the presence, and it's a difficult spot on the north side, so I can't really blame them too much there. Now the transition to the rest of the circle. A knock over towards Tiamba, and the final flush onto Godlike as well. Another nade over towards Tiamba. They're getting caught in the crunches. Nigma Galaxy move up the hill. They're challenging Orangutan. They're challenging Tiamba. They're doing a lot on this eastern side, and Nigma Galaxy strike at the opportune moment.
Perfect timing there for Nigma Galaxy. They understand the situation. Hey, we got to push up. We can't just sit back and relax, wait for them to come to us. And you can see Lord with those nades applying the pressure. I think they need to slow things down a little bit, though. The circle is coming. The circle will push these teams out. So you want to make sure you hold on to all of that utility up until that last and final second. And I think they realize that. That's why they're starting to hold on to those nades. But the shots ringing out. Eagle getting a nice knock on Aaron. That's their biggest threat right now.
Catch, though, with the response over to QZZ. And it leaves Eagle alone. Dropping that smoke, the zone starts closing in 15 seconds, so this res needs to be now. It needs to come through as fast as possible to be able to be in a position to move out. Orangutan lose their final player.
Gone.
And it is gonna go down to Nigma Galaxy, who are now up on 7 elims. Their transition from across the river has gone so well for them.
What a game from Nigma Galaxy, getting hot dropped over and over and over. They take out Ida in just a beautiful fashion. And now, with this fortunate zone shift, are putting the punishment on this lobby as they take down Eagle from Tiamba.
Now QZZ will go down too, and Tiamba knocked out. They managed to get a whole host of points, though, 14 on the match. And they will keep themselves in the running for the podium. Nigma Galaxy looking to join them. There's not enough room for both of you. You've got to organize it. Back to front, stand the line. But Vitality gonna have to leave as well from their cover on that south edge.
Does Solus not see Satan right there in that corner? He had to see him now. No, he's too focused downhill. Oh, never mind. It's gonna be Axel that catches him out. So it's all up to Vitality. Axel, the last player up. Is he able to survive?
Oh, Ralph gets knocked as well. Ulf are captaining from this compound for quite a while now. They haven't had to leave it. And when they do, it's against 2 duo teams with one of their players on either side knocked. For Ulf, this should be a clean sweep. There are no two ways about it, but it might get a little bit hairy. Lord is shut out first, and Aaron doesn't even hit the deck. A 2v4 here would be needed for Vitality, and they are getting cut across, sliced and diced. Ulf are on the hunt. Downhill, they roll on in, and it's just Razy to stand in their way. The smoke billows, the P90 at hand. You couldn't ask for a better setup, but Ulf are here, and they have the nades, the ordnance to blast them apart at the seams.
And that is how you do it, folks. Ulf just taking full opportunity there and capitalizing it on it. We love to be able to see that. That building so strong, it was in circle all the way up there towards the end, but they didn't just sit on their hands, right? They just saw, they hunted down every elimination they possibly could, and then once they realized that those teams were weak, they pushed out immediately and were able to get it done.
Some real heads-up plays, some proactive plays during that match. I mean, we focused a lot at the start on the hot drop, but the rotations up towards the north side also came in to be really impactful later on into that match, right? It was the teams that got there early that had the staying power. For me, a highlight of that game was also Tiamba holding off against the triple crash. It was Alula, followed by S2G, followed by Aurora. Everybody wanted to get into that central compound, but they denied them access at every single turn. It was a shame that Tiamba couldn't go the full distance. They did get shut out. And I feel like for Orangutan, they could have had more of an impact on that northeast side that would have changed the tune there. And hopefully they can find those opportunities in the future. It would be great to see them perform at the level we know them to be capable of from their performance in the group stage, but it is looking pretty powerful on multiple fronts.
It's so tough. I mean, everybody here is playing just hyper aggression, zero hesitation gameplay here live in Paris. The second you see an opportunity, these teams are taking it. One team in particular, right, we got to talk about it, is E-Arena. Just straight aggression there towards the end game. They soak up a ton of eliminations. Unfortunately, don't get the chicken dinner, but when you get that many elims, that's a good game no matter what.
Yeah, that fight with 4 Thrives over the ridgeline worked out well for them. And again, the lack of third party allowed them to keep in the match for a lot longer. They were down to just a single player standing at one point, but they managed to get back to 3 to recover that pressure without any third party look-ins coming on through. And yeah, for E-Arena, it's a good result. I would even say it's a great result to keep them at the top of the tables, to keep, well, I don't know if they're actually at the top of the tables anymore. We'll have to double check that, but a man who could find out is Kalaris down on the stage with E-Arena.
I'll try my best, John Allen. Yes, that's right. E-Arena looking fantastic so far, so let's ask them a few questions about the games here to get things rolling. So first things first, your previous win going up against Furia. Were you surprised by Furia's approach to the late game? And talk to me about that late game in general after you got the win.
ในเกมที่เราต้องเจอกับฟิวเรียนะฮะในเกมที่เราชนะเมื่อสักครู่เนี่ยฮะตอนที่เราเจอกับฟิวเรียฮะเรารู้สึกเซอร์ไพรส์นะกับวิธีที่ฟิวเรียเล่นเพลย์สไตล์ของฟิวเรียในเกมนั้นครับ
ก็แปลกใจครับแต่ก็รู้ว่าเขาเล่นอย่างนั้นอยู่ครับก็เลยไม่ได้ตื่นเต้นเลยครับ
Well, we expected, but we still surprised with how they approaching the teams. But even though the last result is that they're winning the games.
Okay, so you guys got very close to qualifying via the group stage and then came really close to not qualifying via the survival stage. So has there been any difference in approach here to the final? What has the team talked about to adjust here coming into the finals of PMWC?
ก็ขนาดที่2นะฮะในกรุ๊ปสเตจเราก็เกือบที่จะได้ควอลิฟายแล้วส่วนในรอบ survival stage ฮะเราก็เกือบที่จะตกรอบแล้วด้วยซ้ำในตอนนั้นอยากถามว่าในตอนนี้ฮะรู้สึกยังไงบ้างครับ
ก็พอเราเข้าไฟนอลมาได้ใช่ไหมครับก็ทุกอย่างก็เริ่มใหม่ครับทุกคนเริ่มจากศูนย์เราก็เริ่มจากศูนย์ก็เลยไม่กดดันอะไรครับ
Well, right now we have zero pressure at all. So we are here to win, of course. And it's like since everyone, this is a new day, new group. So this is a champion group now. Everyone's starting at the 0 point. So that's no different. And we're gonna claim all the glory back to Thailand.
Okay, so that does it then. Well, thank you very much for the answers. That does it down here on the stage. We'll be with you for more from PMWC in just a moment.